Now, hear me out, guy. I'm talking Oscar here. Classic Cinderella stuff, okay? A football team. Somewhere in New England, 42 years, no championship, man. Buckers. New season. Home opener. Guess what happens? Whammo! Their franchise quarterback is gone. So they got a decision to make, huh? Sure, it's too soon, but they bring in the kid. And with a thing and a thing and a boom, he's got him into the playoffs. Divisional finals. We got a blizzard. The kid is driving his boys down the field for a final touchdown. Win. He fumbled. He fumbled. Okay, so dig this. It's not a fumble, all right? The refs cite some obscure rule, so it's a fumble. But it ain't no fumble. Cut to New Orleans. Why? Because I love that city like a brother. Super Bowl. Tie score. Timex running drive. And the kid, huh? Marches his boys right into field goal range. They kick. Will it? Won't it? It does. They win. They win. They're champions of the freaking world, man. And it could really happen.
Next.
Oh, come on, not the goons, man. Come on. I haven't even told you about the sequel. The sequel, man. Every year, man. Every year.
Are you ready for some football? Put the pedal to the metal in somebody's spear. Tonight, the NFL kicks it into high gear. The Pats close the curtains on the Steelers show. Now they're back home with Lombardi in tow. You better sit down, strap in and hold tight. It's always full throttle on Monday night. Hit it. Come on and hit it. Come on and get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party. It's a Super Bowl season. We're gonna rock it. Players at the ready. Al and John at the mic. All my ready friends are here for Monday night.
It is a hot late summer evening in New England. Temperature in the mid-80s as you look at downtown Boston, 30 miles to the north. And now Foxborough, brand new Gillette Stadium, opening night of the regular season for the world champion New England Patriots. A $325 million beautiful facility. They've been tailgating. They raised the championship banner, and now they await for a 42-year-old franchise. They're Super Bowl champions for the first time. The New England Patriots coming out onto the Gillette Stadium turf. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to Foxborough. What a way to begin our 33rd season of Monday Night Football. This is the 50th different venue. The world champion Patriots, the Cinderella team, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last year in the AFC Championship game, the Patriots went into Pittsburgh and won the game 24-17 on the strength of their special teams. They ran a punt back for a touchdown and a blocked field goal back for a touchdown. We'll see what happens tonight. You know, it's appropriate because it's symmetrical. In 1971, they opened up the old stadium next door. It was then known as Schaefer Stadium. The Patriots played the Oakland Raiders. John Madden was the coach of the Oakland Raiders. He opens up that stadium. He opens up this stadium. I hate to remind you, though, the final score was 20-6 Patriots.
I know it, but I was really excited that day. I mean, it was our opener, but nothing like the excitement here tonight. This crowd has been giving this team a standing ovation for over an hour. This is more like a Super Bowl celebration than an opening day.
No question about it. Now, as far as tonight's game is concerned, besides playing a lot better on special teams, what's the key to a Steeler win?
I think they have to make Cordell Stewart comfortable. And the way to do that, I've always said the best friend of a quarterback is a good running game. I think Jerome Bettis has to run. I think Cordell Stewart has to run. Last time they played, their receivers had trouble getting open against press coverage. They have to be able to get open.
Now, as far as New England is concerned, we talked about them being a Cinderella team. No bigger Cinderella story for an individual than Tom Brady. Super Bowl MVP comes out of nowhere. He says, I don't want to be a one-shot wonder. What do you think?
I think that he was great last year. I mean, the last time that I saw him play was in the Super Bowl, and he was tremendous. He took a big step last year, and he's going to have to continue and take a bigger step this year.
We're ready for some football. What a way to begin. Pittsburgh against the world champions. Tonight's quarterback comparison is brought to you by McDonald's. Last year, Pittsburgh's Cordell Stewart set a team record for completion percentage and established career highs in passing yards and quarterback rating. New England's Tom Brady also set a franchise record for completion percentage, and along with Stewart, was voted to the AFC Pro Bowl team.
ABC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Do we have any video of the coin? What a facility. And to think that 4 years ago, Robert Kraft had announced that the Patriots were moving to Hartford, Connecticut. But that deal came apart. And then this became a privately financed stadium. And Robert Kraft was on the field before the game welcoming the crowd. And the biggest hand was for the fact that the stadium was privately financed and no personal seat license fee.
And then these fans appreciate, you know, I've never seen an owner appreciate as much as Robert Kraft was tonight. And then we talk about standing ovation. I think Robert Kraft went on and he gave a big talk, and I think he got a standing ovation for about 15 minutes.
A lot of ovations, as there is the owner of the New England Patriots. And right now, Nick Carter to sing the national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nick Carter of Backstreet Boys fame. You saw former President Bush, who's here tonight. And next week we'll be close to his son's residence as we go to Washington for Game 2 of Monday Night Football, Philly at the Redskins. But tonight, a rematch of the AFC Championship game at brand new Gillette Stadium. Super Bowl champions opening at home. And let's go down to the field and check in with Melissa Starr.
Well, the Steelers have waited 8 months for this rematch. Bill, when your players and coaches talk about the AFC Championship game, they say you were out-toughed, out-physical, even intimidated. How do you reverse that tonight?
Well, it's an opportunity, Melissa. This is the first game of the 16-game season. We're going to have to be physical tonight. We got to play smart and try to get off to a fast start, keep this crowd out of it.
Jerome Bettis was leading the NFL in rushing when he suffered the groin injury in the first week of December. He said it has been a long, long road to recovery. Is he the same player that he was before the injury?
Oh, I think he is. He had a good preseason. He actually got a little bit better with each game. He's ready to go tonight. He's looked good. He's looking forward to this game.
Bill, thanks. Al, the Steelers players I've talked to said they know they can't win a ring with a win tonight, but there's nothing like knocking out the champs.
Nothing like knocking out the champs and going to 1-0 on opening night. as they get ready to go home to the Steelers for another tough one next week against the Oakland Raiders on Sunday night. The Steelers have won the toss and back to receive Hank Poteet out of the University of Pittsburgh. So he was a stay-at-home and ready to kick off for the Super Bowl champions as soon as the ball is placed down on the tee at the 30-yard line. They're waiting to just get a few of the dignitaries off the field, and for Adam Vinatieri, of all things, to go back and find the tee. Well,
Tiger had it. Tiger didn't give back that tee. He said, give me a tee and a ball, and Tiger kept the tee.
Well, there's always something crazy that happens on an opening night in the stadium. So Vinatieri was all set. It's about the only thing he's done wrong in New England, especially after what he did last year. He is written into New England lore. You saw Cordell Stewart. There's Tom Brady. It was Vinatieri who kicked that 45-yarder through the snow in the Oakland game, then beat them in overtime, and then, of course, the coup de grace, the 48-yarder to win the Super Bowl. So here we go from Gillette Stadium with the kickoff taken at the 2-yard line by Hank Poteet. Up past the 20. And taken down at the 26 as we meet the Pittsburgh offense.
Cordell Stewart, Colorado. Jerome Bettis, Notre Dame.
Dan Kreider, New Hampshire.
Plexico Burris, Michigan State.
Hines Ward, Georgia.
Mark Bruner, University of Washington.
Wayne Gandy, Auburn.
Alan Faneca, LSU.
Jeff Hardings, Penn State.
Oliver Ross, Iowa State.
Marvell Smith, Arizona State.
And so the Pittsburgh Steelers, 13-3 last season, best record in the AFC, run their first offensive play out of the eye from the 27-yard line. And they give it to the bus. And the bus gets up to the 29-yard line for a gain of a couple. Here's the New England defense.
Bobby Hamilton, Southern Miss.
Steve Martin, Missouri.
Richard Seymour, Georgia Bulldogs.
Anthony Pleasant, Tennessee State.
Mike Vrabel, Ohio State.
Teddy Bruschi, Arizona Wildcats.
Roman Pfeiffer, UCLA.
Ty Law, Michigan.
Lawyer Malloy, Washington.
Tabucky Jones, Syracuse.
OTIS, Missouri.
OTIS at the age of 37, the second youngest cornerback in the league. The second oldest at 37. The oldest would be Darrell Green at 42. Second down and 8 from the 29-yard line as Stewart goes deep on second down and incomplete. Intended for Plexico Burris, who was double teamed, and Smith, one of the guys covering him.
Well, that was OTIS right there. In the championship game, he matched up against Plexico Burris, and that's the way that they did it all the time. That he was going to play up here, and you see he starts in the pressure. He starts up, then he goes off. You see Cordell Stewart going back. He gets the pressure. Seymour is right in his face. And you see what happened there is OTIS started to bail out. He was up, then he started to bail, and he was just running perfectly with Plexico Burris.
Out of the gun now, they bring in Amos Zaraway, and he flanks Stewart, and also Hines Ward lines up in the backfield on third down and 8. And Stewart deep over the middle again, and it's intercepted by Terrell Buckley. The once and present Patriot runs it back inside the 30 to the 26. He had been here. He went to camp with Tampa Bay. They let him go. New England picked him up a couple of days ago, and he picks off a pass. And then Kelly and Ward get into it. So an early turnover in New England in immediate business.
And a Bill Belichick defense. That's what he does. He uses a lot of players. Terrell Buckley, as you said, Al was here a year ago. They just got him back a couple of days ago. And as Bill Belichick says, he just fits right in. You can see it. I mean, the first pass, he just picks off and takes it on back. No one touches him. It didn't look like, but it looks like they're going to spot it there. Let's see if they do touch him. No, he hasn't been touched yet.
Yeah. They're going to say that Antoine Randall L. got a hand on him, 82, barely,
yeah,
and that caused him to go down, and they're going to move the ball back to the 46-yard line.
I don't know. I think that's a bad spot. I think Randall L. did get a hand on him, but then he went another 5 yards before he went down.
That's 42 career interceptions for Terrell Buckley, T-Buck.
And Cordell Stewart isn't getting off to a comfortable start.
First down from the 46, and Tom Brady with a play fake under pressure and he's forced to throw it away because of pressure from new Steeler James Farrior. Here's the New England offense.
Tom Brady, Michigan Wolverines.
Antoine Smith, Houston.
Mark Edwards, Notre Dame.
Troy Brown, Marshall.
David Patton, Western Carolina.
Christian Fourier, Colorado. Matt Light, Purdue.
Joe Andrewsy, Southern Connecticut State.
Mike Compton, West Virginia University.
Damian Woody, Boston College.
Miata Jones, South Florida.
A lot of familiar names and faces. Both teams returning almost all of their starters as Antoine Smith takes it to the 40. Here is the Pittsburgh defense.
Aaron Smith, Northern Colorado.
Casey Hampton, Texas. Kimo Von Oelhoffen, Boise State.
Jason Gilden, Oklahoma State. James Farrior, Virginia.
Kendrell Bell, Georgia.
Joey Porter, Colorado State.
Chad Scott, Maryland.
Lee Flowers, Georgia Tech.
Brent Alexander, Tennessee State.
Dwayne Washington, NC State.
Steelers #1 last year in total defense, meaning they gave up the fewest yards in the league. Patriots out of the gun, out of the spread on 3rd and 4, and that's incomplete. Intended for Donald Hayes, who was covered by Dwayne Washington. And so it's...
I'll tell you, that was great coverage by Dwayne Washington. I mean, there's nothing that Brady has to throw here. Just watch Washington. He's up, and he's in tight coverage, and he's taking away the inside. And then they try and go inside, and there's no place to go. I mean, I think the definition of open, now some quarterbacks will throw and have a thin definition of open. That was a no definition of open in any way there.
The left footer, Ken Walter, to punt. And he sends that one into the end zone. So after the Buckley interception, the Patriots cannot capitalize. Pittsburgh will get it back at the 20. 2 minutes, 3 seconds into opening night. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Madden NFL 2003 from EA Sports. It's in the game. By Ford, no boundaries. Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And Charles Schwab, there's never been a better time for Charles Schwab. Charles River, downtown Boston, 30 miles to the north.
I don't think there's anyone riding down the river tonight, are they? I think they're all here.
Nobody in any of those duck boats tonight.
Been here for 3 days, and I think everyone in this whole New England area is a Patriot fan.
Unbelievable buzz surrounding this game on the opening of the stadium. First down from the 20. Cordell Stewart, who had his last pass intercepted, has this one picked off. Mike Vrabel, the former Steeler, in his second year in New England, picks it off. And so 2 minutes, 9 seconds into the season, the look on Bill Cowher's face said it all. Stewart has already thrown 2 interceptions.
And I don't know what Cordell Stewart is reading there. He threw the other one to Terrell Buckley on that one, and you just see Vrabel was just in his zone. I mean, there was nothing tricky about this one. Vrabel, the outside linebacker who at one time played for the Steelers, he's just going to drop back. You see, he gets a little bump. He's right there in his zone, and Cordell Stewart throws it right to him. Look at him here. Here's what Cordell Stewart is looking at, and Vrabel's right there. No, he's a little nervous, I think, Cordell Stewart is.
He has to be. It's 2 picks and 3 throws, and now Brady spins, and they set up the screen to the fullback, Mark Edwards. Some nice moves. The helmet gets loose, and Edwards takes it all the way down to the 14-yard line. 12-yard gain. Cordell Stewart last year was great after the regular season opener. Look at that. Games 2 through 14, only 3 interceptions over a 13-game period. In the last 2 games of the regular season, 6 picks. In 2 postseason games, 4 interceptions. And John, interestingly, at the end of the AFC Championship game, he was intercepted by New England on his last 2 possessions and the first 2 tonight.
Yeah, and I think that had to do in the championship game with not having a running game. You know, they only ran for 50-some yards, and I thought that they were going to come in here and establish Jerome Bettis, establish a running game, and they haven't.
From the 15, Brady going for the end zone and incomplete, but a flag is down. Tony Corrente is the referee tonight. It was a first down play. The indication is a hold. Defense.
And that's a defensive holding, so that's going to be an automatic first down.
5-yard penalty, automatic First down.
And it's going to move the ball just inside the 10, making it a 1st and goal. It's Chad Scott holding.
Look, as Chad Scott is right here, and you see what he did. I mean, he just grabbed right off the bat. There's no arguing about that one. I know last time they played, they thought they had to take Troy Brown away, and in the second half of the game, they doubled him all the time. This time they said, we're not going to let Troy Brown get away, but you can't let him not get away by grabbing him.
1st and goal from just inside the 10. Brady throwing too high. Jason Gilden in coverage on the play. Daniel Graham, the tight end, their #1 draft choice out of the University of Colorado.
Last preseason game, Graham scored 2 touchdowns. They thought they had him going. That's a good play fake there. Look at the time that he has, and Graham just doesn't get open. Jason Gilden is pretty good. You know, you always think of him as a sacker, a pass rusher, but he's a complete linebacker. He plays the run very well, and he is, we know that, a good pass rusher, but also, as we saw there, he's a good pass coverer.
2nd and goal, and that draw play is sniffed out and smelled out perfectly by Casey Hampton, their #1 draft choice last year out of Texas, and Antoine Smith is thrown back for a loss.
Did you see Troy Brown in there? I don't know how he got sandwiched in there. It looked like he was going to motion and got caught someplace that he wasn't supposed to be. When you have a big guy like Casey Hampton in there and you're a little wide receiver, you don't want to be messing with. Here's Casey Hampton here, the nose tackle. And again, he's taking a little slant to the left, gets right by Compton and comes back. Now what the heck Troy Brown was doing there, I have no idea.
3rd down and 4. Porter gets taken out of the play, and the pass is incomplete in the end zone. Troy Brown looks for a flag, and there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. It has nothing to do with what happened in the end zone. Chad Scott covering Troy Brown, but a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Tell you one thing, so far the defensive backs are playing a lot better than the wide receivers in this game. In a couple cases,
Offside.
They're running better patterns.
Defense, number 55. Jump in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
You can see Porter, who's very fast, trying to beat the snap count that time. They were able to take him out of the play, and we'll take another look at it.
Well, Porter's right here, and again, as you say, Al, they're trying to, in a pass rush situation, they're trying to beat the snap count, you know, to get that step on that big offensive tackle, in that case, Matt Light, and he got the step before the ball was snapped.
They have to respot it back at the 14 now. On 3rd down, they bring in J.R. Redmond. They take Antoine Smith out of the game.
J.R. Redmond is not only a good pass receiver, but he's a very good pass protector and good at picking up blitzes.
Ball at the 9-yard line after the penalty. It is 3rd down and goal. Brady hanging in the pocket, then throws a flag down. It is juggled and it is dropped by David Patton. But a flag is down. The coverage that time by Dwayne Washington.
And that's going to be right there. The flag is in the end zone. If it's against the Steelers, that'll put the ball in the 1-yard line.
Holding, defense, number 20. This will be a 5-yard penalty. Automatic, 1st down.
Well, it wasn't pass interference. He called holding, which means that he had a hold right here before the ball was thrown. So if the ball is in the air, then that would be pass interference. He's saying that that hold occurred before the ball was in the air, so there's defensive holding, which would be a 5-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
1st and goal inside the 5-yard line. The season is 3 minutes 59 seconds old. The Steelers have had 2 interceptions and 3 penalties. Bill Cowher wants to go back to the hotel, get back on the bus, and start all over again.
Yeah, well, the last thing Bill Cowher said before the game started to Melissa is they want to get off to a good start and take the crowd out of the game.
Anything but with a touchdown to Christian Foria, the tight end.
You know, it was 1st down, and it was a great play-action fake. That's the thing that got Fourier open. Watch this fake that Brady does. He fakes, and then he goes down, holds the linebackers, and Fourier is wide open. You want to get him to come in and bite on that play fake. Then if they bite on that play fake, then there's no one there to cover the tight end.
So the Steelers are down 7-0, and also Kendrell Bell, last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year, came limping off to add injury to insult. Vinatieri now for the point after out of the Walter hold. And with 10:57 to go in the first, the Patriots didn't capitalize on the first pick, but do on the second. 7-0 New England. High above downtown Boston, the aerial coverage tonight provided by Budweiser. And out of Foxborough, where they're rocking after a touchdown following the interception by Vrabel. Brady hits Christian Foria, who came over from Seattle, where he had one touchdown catch all last season. Vinatieri's kick this time fielded by Lee Mays at the 8-yard line, and Mays gets taken down up at the 27, the rookie out of the University of Texas at El Paso.
Let's watch that touchdown again. You're going to see Foria's right here, and you get a good play action into here, but you're also going to get Lee Flowers steps out a little. He gets picked right here. Now let's watch it here, and you see him come out. You see that little pick as he comes right there. You see he comes in, the wide receiver comes from the outside. Right there, Flowers gets picked off and gets bunched in there. That's why Foria was wide open. The combination of a little pick plus the play pass.
Now the Steelers' third possession begins with Bettis tackle for no gain. The Steelers have now run 5 plays. A 2-yard run, no gain, an incomplete pass, and 2 interceptions.
And the one thing that we were talking to Jerome Bettis last night, he said, last time we played the Patriots, they got me before I could get started. They were getting into the backfield and getting me behind the line of scrimmage before I could get up, ahead of steam. And that's exactly what they did on that play.
And he comes out of the game, and in comes Amos Zeroué and Chris Tuamato Ma'afala. Fu is the fullback. Zeroué is the tailback on 2nd down and 10. Stewart to the air again. Deep again. And incomplete, but a flag is thrown. Hines Ward covered by Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy in the area.
And that was the same combination that they used, the same matchup they used in the championship game. We were talking about on the other side how Otis Smith was always going to cover Plexico Burress, and then that would leave Ty Law is always going to be on Hines Ward.
Defense, number 24. Automatic first down.
I think Hines Ward got one here because the coverage. Ty Law is a great cover corner, and he's up there in tight coverage. You see him get the little bump there, but as Hines Ward stops, and he expects him to keep going. As Hines Ward stops, Ty Law runs right into him, and the ball's in the air.
And it's worth 23 yards. It's 1st and 10 now as they spread it out. Empty backfield. Stewart, quarterback draw. Trips on his own man, and Richard Seymour will get credit for the tackle. Seymour, an emerging star, defensive tackle, 2nd-year guy out of Georgia.
And he played that perfectly because that was an open backfield. The only guy there was Cordell Stewart. I think he was thinking run all the way. But watch Seymour. He's right here. He feels that, and he stays right there with him, stuffs his offensive lineman. That's a heck of a play. Watch him the way he just manhandles his guy right there, and there's no place for Stewart to go.
For Stewart to trip over the feet of Oliver Ross, the right guard. 2nd down and 13 now from the 46-yard line. Cordell hangs in the pocket, throws over the middle. This is Ward, breaks a tackle at midfield, and takes it down to the 43-yard line, a little short of the first down, tackled by Roman Pfeiffer. Let's check in with Melissa.
Al, Steelers linebacker Kendrell Bell, last year's NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, came into tonight's game with a left ankle sprain. You saw him limp off the field after the Patriots touchdown. Official word from the team, he re-aggravated it. His return is questionable. Al, he had 9 sacks last year.
Melissa, and you could see it when he came off the field. His body language said, I can't believe I did this again.
I know that we were talking to Bill Power last night. He says this year he's going to use Kendrell Bell as a 3rd down rusher, but he didn't plan to do it in this game because of the injury.
3rd and 1, out of the gun, fake toss, and then Cordell thrusts himself across the 40 for a 1st down.
Yeah, and that's a great thing the Steeler offense has, is you can talk about running backs and they can run any 2 or 3 at you, but then they also have, in addition to that, the quarterback. And he is always dangerous anytime he has the ball because he can run it, he can run and throw it, or he can throw it. This is the second time that he had a designed run. This time he gets a pulling guard in front of him, so he gets a first down on that play.
Now Jerome Bettis comes back in, first down at the New England 39, and they give it to Bettis, and Bettis chugs his way for a couple to the 37. And John, we were talking to Jerome last night, and we were both surprised. It took him almost 6 months to fully recover from that groin injury.
Yeah, after the championship game, they told him don't do anything for 8 weeks. So he took 8 weeks off, and then of course he said he lost his conditioning. He said as late as May 1st, he didn't think that he'd ever be able to play again, and he thought that that may be his career. Then he said on May 19th it started to feel better, and then the rest was mini camps and training camps and so on. And he said he's back to normal now.
Second down and 8 from the 37-yard line. They give it to Jerome again, and he gets taken down just inside the 35 to the 34. Teddy Bruschi makes the stop. Not only was Bettis hurt last year, but think about it. He's been in the league for now 10 seasons. Most carries before the age of 30. Emmitt Smith leads that list. The retired Barry Sanders, and there is Bettis.
And that's an amazing list of players. I mean, it's can you play, can you run in a game, can you run in a season, can you run in 2 seasons, 5 seasons, 10 seasons. These are the guys that have done it year after year after year.
He's also battling asthma as well. Hot night, 3rd down and 5. And the pass from Stewart right on the money to Antoine Randall. Great looking rookie, number 2 pick out of Indiana, where he was a quarterback. And now they're making him a receiver. He picks up 10 right here. Another slash, another guy who can run, catch, and throw.
Yeah, and I think he's just going to be the wide receiver. And they like him in a slot because they can do a lot of things from him. I mean, just here you see he just runs an out pattern, a great cut there. And then just as he gets his break, Cordell Stewart gives him the ball. But I think you're going to see a lot of him running reverses and a lot of trick plays in addition to just being a pass receiver.
Cowher loves him from the 24. They give it to the bust. He tries to cut it back inside and picks up a hard-earned 3 to the 21.
Don't you just get the feeling, body language-wise, that Cordell Stewart is calming down now and getting more comfortable? He started out, he was throwing to guys that weren't there, and he was throwing to the Patriots, and now you get a little running game going. They're getting a little rhythm in their offense, and I think that their offensive coordinator Mike Mularkey is doing a good job of play calling here on this drive.
Well, there's no doubt, and the big play I think was that penalty to at least advance them to almost midfield, and then he's taken over, and now a more conventional look to this drive. 2nd down and 7 from the 21-yard line. Stewart flings it to the outside. That's on the money, and Ward fighting his way for a first down. Taken down by Ty Law and to Bucky Jones.
Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup all night. You can see Hines Ward here. He's a tough guy, and he's competitive. And last time I think that Ty Law probably got the better of him. You see Ty Law is up there in tight coverage. As I said, we have to be able to beat tight coverage. Hines Ward just runs him off like he's going to go up. Boom, and he just stops. Cordell Stewart hits him perfectly.
Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator. Tom Clements is also the quarterback coach, and he made a big difference with Cordell last year. Pro Bowl season for Stewart. 5 minutes to go in the period. The ball is at the 13-yard line with Ward in motion. Fake draw to the outside. Ward gets free again, breaks a tackle, and goes in. He broke a Ty Law tackle as he took Law to the other side of the field and gets in for the touchdown.
That's a way to get away from tight or press coverage is you go in motion. They put the guy you want to throw to in motion. And that time, Hines Ward, as you said, started out on the right. He goes all the way across, and then he runs an out on the left side. Watch him. Here he is. Here he is at the end of motion now. He'd started over on the right side. You see Ty Law gets over there a little late, but more importantly than late, a little deep, and more importantly than that, he misses a tackle.
Came up a little gimpy. We'll keep an eye on him. Todd Peterson, the new place kicker, well-traveled one, formerly with Kansas City among other teams. Knuckleballs that one through. And Cordell on that drive, 4 of 4 for 42 yards. They go 74 yards and tie it up in Foxborough. College football in full swing Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, Washington State, Ohio State, USC, Colorado. Headlining our attractions, and then at 8 o'clock, Nebraska, Penn State. Some of you will watch Texas against North Carolina in prime time. Well, Bill Belichick, who of course did such a masterful job last year and for a number of seasons, assistant with the Giants, the Jets, even here under Bill Parcells, head coach at Cleveland for 5 years. Just watched his defense get taken to the cleaners.
Yeah, and he's talking to Ty Law, who was beaten for the touchdown there on Heinz Ward. And again, it was motion, and he got a little late jump and got over there late on the other side.
This is Deion Branch running it back from the 5-yard line up to the 34, the rookie from Louisville, with 4:44 remaining now in the opening quarter in Foxborough. 7-7.
Are you ready for some football?
And we will be, a week from tonight, we'll be in the nation's capital, the Eagles, traveling down to meet the Washington Redskins, who won yesterday over Arizona. Raiders-Steelers Sunday night in Pittsburgh is the ESPN game coming up this week. And now the Patriots have it from their own 34-yard line. 1st and 10 with the game tied at 7. Brady operates from the shotgun. Gets chased out. Throws over the middle. Short gain. That's Kendrell Bell back in the game, who takes down Troy Brown. And John, Pittsburgh couldn't have gotten off to a worse start tonight with 2 picks, but they've survived.
Well, you know, we said that Cordell Stewart had to get comfortable in those first couple drives. He wasn't comfortable at all. He's throwing an interception. You think, oh, geez, that this thing, you know, if it goes on, it's going to be terrible for them. But then they got it stopped, and they got the pass interference. That kind of helped them. And then you could just see him calm down. As he calmed down, his whole offense started to do better.
He was 4 for 4 on that drive. It's Antoine Smith loses the ball inside the 40-yard line. And the officials now conferring. Coming up with it is Chad Scott.
3rd down.
But he was down before the ball came out. The play was whistled dead.
You're going to see Antoine Smith, you start here, and Gilden hits him. And I don't know, it looks like the ball, this is probably going to be a challenge, because there his knees down and then the ball comes out. So I guess that's okay, isn't it?
Well, the problem was that they blew the whistle, so that's the end of the play.
Then they can't challenge that anyway.
Absolutely. 3rd down. Cowher couldn't have found the buzzer anyway. 3rd down and 4, as out of the shotgun, the pass is complete over the middle to the rookie Deion Branch for a 1st down up at the 46.
We were talking to Bill Belichick the other day, and he really likes Deion Branch. You know, he's kind of like Randall L. is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Branch is for the Patriots. I mean, a guy that can play spot, you know, slot, can do things for him, can spot here, can spot there, and give him a big play. Anytime he gets his hands on the ball, he's capable of taking it all the way.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Brady sets up. And that pass is low. He had the open man, David Patton, coming off a great year with a lot of spectacular plays. In one game last season, Patton ran, caught, and threw for a touchdown.
And you know, the thing that really impressed me about Tom Brady is what he just did there. You know, you watch him, and he's a big, tall guy, but he's not slow. He has a quickness in his release that when he sees something, the ball is out of there. And that was a perfect example of it the last play. If he ever gets in trouble, it's where he holds it too long.
2nd and 10. Toss back to Smith, the ex-Buffalo Bill, running through the defense. Flag is down. For the moment, he picks up a 1st down.
You know, you watch Antoine Smith on television or something, or on tape, and he doesn't look as big as he is. But when you get up next to him and you watch him in practice, this guy is a big guy. And again, when he gets his shoulders square and turned up field, he can run over a whole bunch of guys.
6'2", 232 is Antoine Smith. This penalty, though, is against New England, negating a 12-yard gain.
Holding, offense, number 44, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Fullback Mark Edwards.
Yeah, and he was on the end of the line. He's going to line up. Here's Mark Edwards right here, and you're going to see him hold Joey Porter here. You see there, and that's where they're going. They're going to the outside. See that left arm up there? Left hand, left arm, then right hand, right arm. He got the double dip and his helmet.
Left hook, right cross, the whole thing.
Yeah, and then the helmet goes flying off there. You got to get some kind of ticket for that or something.
The ticket was the penalty, making it 2nd down and 17. From the 38-yard line, they set up the screen, and it's to Cam Cleveland, one of 3 tight ends in the ex-Saint. That's one position they really upgraded. They got Cleveland, they got Foria, who scored the touchdown and used their #1 pick on Dan Graham.
Yeah, and that was one of the areas that Bill Belichick thought. I mean, he likes his defense and what his defense did last year, and he thought that in the offseason that he had to upgrade his offense, and that was one of the areas. And wide receiver, you know, we were just talking about, you know, Donald Hayes, who he got, and we're talking about Deion Branch, and you know, he feels that he has upgraded his offense. He still hasn't got the running back. Remember, he tried to sign Jamal Anderson and didn't.
Right, Anderson wasn't in shape. 3rd down and 16, 4-man rush. Brady, the only guy he can find is J.R. Redmond, and that's a short little gain up to the 42-yard line and brings in the punting group.
That was third and 15. I mean, there wasn't much he was going to do about that except to get a better position for his punter. Darn, they hit the umpire. You know, more and more guys will today run patterns against that umpire.
Umpire tonight, Darrell Jenkins, getting hit after the punt that time, fielded by Antoine Randall L. at the 23-yard line off the foot of Ken Walter. Under a minute to play in the first quarter in Foxborough. 7-7. Very proud man in the middle right there, Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, with George Bush, 41st president of the United States. Prime Minister Koizumi of Japan is in New England this weekend, and he is Mr. Kraft's guest tonight. Looking on, good first period, 7-7. A look at brand new Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. First down at the 23. Amos Zeroué starts in the backfield behind Stewart. Stewart throws underneath. The catch is made by Dan Kreider, the fullback who played his college ball up the road at New Hampshire.
You know, we were talking about how Cordell Stewart is starting to look comfortable now. He didn't at the beginning. Remember, this is how he started. He goes back and he throws one here to Terrell Buckley, and then his next one he throws to Mike Vrabel. You think, what the heck's going to happen here? But that's how it started, and this was how it ended.
And since then, he's completed 5 straight. And before that, a pass interference penalty proved to be of major benefit. 2nd and 1, they give it to Zeroué, and he picks up the first down, taking it up to the 35-yard line, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter here in Foxborough. So at the end of 1, it's Pittsburgh 7 and the world champion New England Patriots 7. And ABC's Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television. Aerial coverage provided by Budweiser. Start the second quarter. Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark. 7-7. And on first down, the Pittsburgh Steelers begin with a little toss back to Zeroué, and Zeroué picks up just a yard. Well, a lot of little twists here at Gillette Stadium. A replica of a lighthouse. How more New England could you get? A replica of the Longfellow Bridge. And when Robert Kraft got the go-ahead to build this stadium, he said, I'm going to put in all of the little twists and all of the accoutrement and make it as fan-friendly as I can. Beautiful, beautiful facility. Second down and 9 from the 36-yard line. Stewart flings it to the outside. This is Randall L., the Indiana rookie, who takes it up to the 44, a little short of the first down.
You know, we're talking about Randall L. and the type of things that they can do with him, and we saw him just run a pass pattern, and then on this last one, it was just a screen pass. It was just a wide receiver screen.
And this time, without a huddle, Stewart tries to shoulder his way for a first down. And we'll see where they spot it. And a scrum breaks out.
And that's a key. He has to get over the line, over the yard line right here, probably the yellow line that he has to get over. And let's see whether the ball is over that line. I would I would guess that that's a first down. What they did is they just come up there with no, snap count. I mean, he just comes up there. It's one of those things that he just, gooses the center when he's ready to go, and then he's reading that defense, and he sees, he doesn't want to go in the middle. He didn't want to go to the left, so he kind of picked that right to find a soft spot. Now he has to get beyond the white line to the yellow line. As I looked at the spot on the field here, I think he did.
And he does. First down. You know what I'm finding interesting right now, John, is that Jerome Bettis has been in and out of the game, but out right now. Zeraway has been in on first down. Still is. Bettis on the sidelines right now with his helmet off.
I don't think that Jerome Bettis is 100% in a lot of ways, and I think that they're probably trying to just get as much out of him in this game as you can, and maybe if he does have something, maybe save it for that third and fourth quarter. And they do like Zeraway.
First and 10. They fake it to Amos, and then Stewart going deep and incomplete. Burris blanketed by Otis Smith.
Cordell Stewart there reminded me of a Brett Favre, where you don't have to have your feet in position to throw deep.
Numbers through the first quarter. Neither team able to establish a running game. And the two turnovers for Pittsburgh, one wasn't costly, the other led to the New England touchdown.
And probably the biggest play for the Steelers was that pass interference against Ty Law. And the Steelers said they wanted to run inside and run downhill, and they sure haven't been doing it.
Second down and 10. This is a team noted through the years for running under both Chuck Noll and Bill Cowher, and Bernard Holsey makes the tackle right there. Kind of tough to run downhill if you don't have the bus in the backfield.
And the thing is, the Patriots are taking it away too, even when the bus was in the backfield, by getting penetration. And that's what Jerome Bettis was talking about, that happened in the championship game. That there was always a Patriot in their backfield when they tried to run the ball, and that play Holsey was in their backfield, and that brings up a third and long, which is playing right into the Patriots' strength on defense.
From the 46-yard line, Stewart from the shotgun. Four-man rush. The backers go into coverage. Caught at the 46-yard line, Randall L., and he takes it to the other 46, but a little short of the first down.
And you see where he lined up. He lined up in the backfield. We're talking about the different things they're going to do with Randall L. Looks like Bill Cowher is going to go for it. But here's Randall L. in the backfield, and you're going to see that he's just going to run a pattern right out of there. He's just there. You see, he runs a pattern. No one covers him. I mean, he gets out there, and there's no one on him. Ty Law was off him. Eventually, they get there. Now they come up with a fourth down and short, and Bill Cowher says he wants to go for it.
He wants to go for it, or to try to draw New England offside. That's what they'll do in a lot of situations like this at midfield. 4th and 1.
That's what he's doing. You're right. He's going to take the timeout.
And you might as well. I mean, a timeout in the first half is not a tenth as meaningful as a timeout in the second half. Why not burn one here? Little to lose. 4th down, and they'll punt when we come back. Opening night, well, kind of the official opening night. They've had soccer games here, they've had concerts, they had preseason games, but this is the real opening night.
I think the Rolling Stones were here the other night, weren't they?
They were.
There's some leftover stuff here.
4th down now as Josh Miller punts, tries to die it inside the 20, and does. Troy Brown makes the fair catch at the 12, and let's check in again with Melissa Stark.
Al, it is hard to imagine a high school that has enjoyed a better year than Sarah High School, located just outside of San Francisco. Last October, class of '82 alum Barry Bonds shattered the major league record for home runs in a season with an incredible 73. And then class of '95 alum Tom Brady went from being Drew Bledsoe's backup to Super Bowl MVP. And by the way, kicking off that incredible year was our colleague Lynn Swan, class of '70 at Sarah, when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, Al.
Swanee, the ex-Steeler from the 4 championship teams in the 1970s. From the 12 with an empty backfield out of the gun, they spread it out, and the pass is caught by Cam Cleland, the tight end. Gain of 8 up to the 20-yard line, tackled by Farrier.
Can I add a guy to that group that didn't,
Sure.
I don't know if he had anything to do with anything. John Robinson, my old buddy.
Was the Sarah High School
grad?
Yeah, sure, that's your area.
Yeah,
San
that's
Mateo,
right,
California.
San Mateo, and then Greg Jeffries went there, and so there's a lot of great players that have come out of Sarah High School.
Pats hurrying it up on 2nd down and 2, and the pass is caught up at the 24-yard line by Dion Branch.
I don't know where John Robinson fits into that thing. I mean, he's the head coach at UNLV now. We're talking about guys, all-time home run champions and guys winning Super Bowls and all that. But as a guy, he fits in with that.
And a pretty good coach. I mean, he has some great years in the Rams.
Yes, he did. Okay, as a guy and a coach, he fits in with that group.
1st and 10 up at the 25-yard line. Working without a huddle, spreading it again. Brady surveying. Brady going deep. Coverage is great. Chad Scott, step for step with David Patton. Brady last year on the bench when the season started. Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and then, as you see, the rest is history. The youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. Joe Namath had held that mark along with Joe Montana. They were exactly the same age, the two Joes, and then Brady put his name into the book. No huddle again, 2nd down and 10 up at the 25-yard line. Brady throwing to the outside to Donald Hayes, the big receiver, the former Carolina Panther at 6'4" and 220, tackled by Joey Porter.
There's Charlie Weiss. He's the offensive coordinator, and he's trying to change the pace here or get a new or different rhythm by going no huddle. You see, he can call the play right into Tom Brady's helmet. So Tom Brady can just say what Charlie Weiss says to him, he can call out.
3rd down and 1 from the 34. Now Brady looking right and then throwing over the middle and knocked down, swatted down by Joey Porter.
Yeah, the coverage has been great. I mean, as I said earlier, you just get the feeling on a lot of these routes that the defenders are running the route better than the offender is. Watch Joey Porter. Watch Joey Porter right here as he's coming across. He was just step for step on that one.
And New England forced to punt. Ken Walker. Wobbly kick, but fairly deep. Fielded at the 25 by Antoine Randall. And the former Indiana quarterback takes it back to the 34-yard line. Now Chatham making the tackle. 9:37 left in the half. Game tied. The Old North Church, 1723. It was built, Boston's oldest surviving church. Of course, it's one if by land, two if by sea fame. Paul Revere in his midnight ride warning the Steelers are coming. The Steelers are coming. Into New England they come with Bill Cowher.
How many people was he riding with? Did he have a whole bunch of people following him?
Lafitte Pincay and Angel Cordero were there. I know that. The 34-yard line, Jerome Bettis is back in the game. The fake to him. Stewart throwing, and the pass is caught along the far sideline, pulled in by Hines Ward.
Yeah, we were talking about the press coverage, and the Steelers are doing a good job against it. Now, what is it? As we see it here illustrated, where the corners come up tight and they bump the receivers right on the line of scrimmage. This is what they did so well in the championship game. And then that throws the timing off, and then Stewart wasn't able to get the ball to his wide receivers in any timing. Tonight they're doing a lot of different things like motion and moving guys around, getting Randall in to get rid of that presser tight coverage.
It looks like the real game. Amazing. First down from the 49. Here's Bettis. Big hole through the middle, and Bettis, who had carried only 5 times for 10 yards, and there's that little dance that he does after a big play, 16 yards, first down.
And that's what he was talking about that he wanted to do is to run the ball downhill or straight in this area, not to go to the edges. Here he gets a good lead block. He gets a good lead block right there. Look at this hole. I mean, you could drive, I think I could drive my bus through that thing. When you get that, you see a good block on Teddy Bruschi. Teddy Bruschi didn't step up. He stepped sideways. The middle linebacker has to step up to fill the hole. When he sits and waits, then that's going to happen when Bettis gets the ball.
And Stewart quickly over the middle to the 25-yard line. They rarely go to their tight ends, but this time they hit Bruner. Mark, an 8-year guy who was their #1 pick in '95, tackled by the former Jet Victor Green.
Well, and Mark Bruner's the type of guy that goes with a running game because he's such a good blocker. And you know, when he was injured last year, they really missed that because, you know, he's sometimes when they run the ball, he's like having an extra tackle in there. In fact, Bill Cowher was saying that he thinks that he's the best blocking tight end in football.
Second and a deuce to the 25. 7.5 to go in the half. Long count from Cordell. Pressure's on. Escapes. Up the middle he goes. Runs in to Malloy, who pays the price from Stewart, and he takes it down to the 15-yard line.
Lawyer Malloy was loading up for that hit too. He was anytime that quarterback gets past the line of scrimmage, they know that it's open season, that guy, and Lawyer Malloy just loaded up everything he had, and Stewart gave him everything he wanted.
In the meantime, Tabucky Jones and Victor Green are both still down. Here was the amazing finish yesterday up in Chicagoland. Sam Hornish Jr. beat Al Unser by 24 thousandths of a second, setting up a great race in Texas this week on ABC. As you look at the IRL point standings, the Chevy 500 Indy Racing League this Sunday at 3 o'clock on ABC Sports Championship television. Great real action at the end yesterday.
24,000?
Unbelievable.
That's like
less than that. First down after the timeout, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Hines Ward, and a flag is thrown. Ty Law with the coverage.
That is a heck of a matchup. I mean, that's one of the things that if you were here at the stadium, you could just watch that matchup between Ty Law and Hines Ward all day, because they've been going at it physically, they've been going at it verbally, and every pattern that they run.
Number 24. As a foul occurred in the end zone, the ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
We were talking about that tight coverage, and the way to take away the tight coverage is go in motion. And watch, here's Hines Ward coming all the way across. Ty Law is coming all the way with him, but you see he has to play off him. And then as he comes up, Hines Ward runs right by him. And what they do is they take away that tighter press coverage by putting the guy in motion.
Now with 3 tight ends and the bus trying to work his way into the end zone. And there's a flag down. There's a flag down at the 1-yard line.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, the left tackle. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Bill Cowher says, what?
or who? His left tackle is Wayne Gandy. He knows who that left tackle is. Now, if it's Wayne Gandy, it would be right here. I mean, that's who they call. See if he moves. Oh no, he didn't move. No, I didn't see any twitch or any move. That's getting off the ball very well. And that's a bad call if that's on Gandy. And the bearded one has a right to yell at that. I would too. Woo.
First and goal from the 6. Stewart under pressure, avoids the sack, and then gets back to the 7. That's still a loss of 1. Let's go back again and take a look at the penalty.
You know, as an old coach, and as an old lineman, and as an old line coach, you always teach your guys to get off on the ball. You know, get off on the ball. Get off when the ball snaps. I think Gandy does that perfectly. I mean, to me, he gets off just as the ball is snapped. I mean, watch this. Watch the ball being snapped. He moves perfectly. There was no movement on that offensive line. I think the Steelers' 2 biggest plays, though, have been the pass interference calls, haven't they? Both against Ty Law?
No question. Second and goal. The other one got them started on their touchdown drive. Now they hope to culminate this drive with another 6. Stewart flushed out. Throws to the back of the end zone and doing a toe dance, but out of bounds was Plaxico Burress. He couldn't get down with possession.
Yeah, and that's where a guy like Cordell Stewart is so tough on you that you have to keep him in the pocket. Then if he gets out of the pocket, he can still run the ball or throw it. You see him out here? He's out there now. He still has the ball. He can still throw it. Plexico Burress comes down with his left foot and his right foot is out. He knew where he was, and he got up in the air, and as he was coming down, he tried to get that right foot back in, but he couldn't do it.
So that makes it 3rd down and goal now from the 7-yard line. Game tied, 6:09 left in the half. Zeraway and Fuamato Ma'afala in the backfield. Stewart under center. Cordell to the right side. The pass is caught, but taken only to the 1 by Fuamato Ma'afala, tackled by Roman Pfeiffer. And a flag goes down at the end of the play.
And if you wonder what the Steelers were going to do if there was no penalty here, they were going to kick the field goal. Well, this is great defense. I mean, these guys, both of these teams play so well on defense.
After the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 45, 15-yard penalty, the down will count, 4th down.
Fuamato Ma'afala, and now they'll definitely kick a field goal, but it'll be a lot longer.
You know, one of the things that they're doing is they're calling these things after the play is over. You know, that okay, the whistle blows, it's all over. To me, that's a taunt, though. I mean, I think it is a penalty, it is a hit, but I think the hit was caused by a taunt. And there's another penalty.
This would have been a 34-yard attempt.
False start, offense, number 67, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
That's Kimo von Oelhoffen, who normally is a defensive lineman playing here. So they go from 1st and goal at the 1-yard line to a 39-yard field goal attempt by a journeyman place kicker.
Right, and I don't think that the first one was a penalty. The second ones were. Here's Van Oelhoffen. He's playing that position there or the wing, and he was the guy that they called.
And the kick is no good. Penalties will kill you. It's the oldest cliche in the book. And the Steelers have been flagged 6 times for 40 yards. It cost them 7, and then it cost them 3, and the game is still tied. It is stylish, it's provocative, it's mysterious and daring. Don't miss the premiere of television's hottest new drama. It's called Push Nevada. Special season preview Tuesday at 9, 8 Central, next Tuesday, here on ABC. Good new show. I've had a few pushes in Nevada in my time, but that's another story. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line as the pass is thrown out here to Troy Brown. Nothing cooking right there. And he's tackled for no gain. Now the Patriots last season were 5-5 at one point. Then they ran the table. They were outgained by their opponents by nearly 500 yards, and in postseason they scored only 3 offensive touchdowns. They began the year 1-3 and ended it with the Lombardi Trophy. 2nd down and 9 as Brady in the pocket throws, and they utilize the tight end again. That's Cam Cleveland up to the 40-yard line.
I was watching in practice the other day, and again they're going no huddle here, and this is the thing that Charlie Weiss, our offensive coordinator, is just trying to get some pace going, or a different pace going here. But anytime that they put Cleveland in, they throw to him, because he's going to be, he's not a blocker, he's not a big guy, but he's going to be their pass receiving tight end. Keywords if he stays healthy.
Only 4 rushes tonight. Antoine Smith with all of them for only 9 yards. Every other play a pass play. And here comes the 18th pass, and that's caught out here by Brown for just a very short gain, and then he gets taken out of bounds by Gilden. A couple of Pro Bowlers having at it.
You see how quickly Tom Brady gets that ball. I mean, that's, you know, if you say what is his strength, what does he do best, I think it's what we just saw there. Get in the shotgun. He feels very comfortable here. Get in the shotgun, get the ball in your hands, and get rid of it. Watch how he does it here in real time. Boom, up, out. You know, there's no chance. No rusher's going to get there. Very clean.
Brady on what will be their 11th consecutive pass, and that is complete. And it's caught by David Patton for a 1st down at the Steeler 45-yard line with 3:48 on the clock.
Isn't this something? Just a minute ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers were on the 1-yard line, and now the Patriots have the ball going the other way.
Ebb and flow.
And you see Patton here, he just runs a hook to the inside, and then the ball isn't there, so he slides to the outside.
From the 45, 1st and 10, out of the gun. On what would appear to be a 12th consecutive pass attempt. And Brady slings it to the sideline, and that's caught again by David Patton. Run out of bounds by Chad Scott.
Yeah, we're talking about Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, how he started to call the plays, going no huddle here, like the Patriots are doing. And it has, I think it's taken the Steeler defense out of a little rhythm, but it's given the Patriots and Tom Brady a great rhythm.
All short stuff for Brady. He's thrown 20 passes tonight for 85 yards. He's completed 14, so a little more than 4 yards per pass attempt. On 1st and 10, that one is incomplete. Crowd wants a flag, and they don't get it. Deion Branch, the intended receiver, covered by the linebacker Porter.
And one of the things we talked to Bill Belichick the other day is, and he of course coached at Cleveland, so he had played against Cowher and the Steelers a lot. He said one thing you can't do with their defense is stay in a base offense, because their whole defense is structured to play a base offense. So you look at the formations that the Patriots are giving the Steelers, and they're giving them problems.
3-man rush, pass is caught, and it's Porter who knocks down Cleveland. So once again, they go back to the tight end, and Cleveland has now caught 4.
And they don't even huddle up. Everyone just stays in their same position. Although Cleveland was on the left side, now you see him. He's coming over to the right side. So they have 3 receivers on this side, 2 receivers on this side, no one in the backfield.
And that's Brown in motion. He's going to the left side now. Now he comes back toward Patton on the outside. And on 3rd down, Brady directing traffic with his left hand, and Troy Brown, the intended recipient, incomplete.
You know, when a quarterback can stand back there and direct traffic, you know who you have to give credit to? The offensive line. I mean, he didn't complete that one, but Tom Brady was very comfortable in the pocket, and he had time to sit, to look, to read, to direct traffic, because he hasn't gotten any pass rush, isn't getting any pass rush. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
No pass rush, good pass blocking. But he didn't get the first down, though, either, did he?
No. Now it's Adam Vinatieri, and this will be a 45-yard field goal attempt to try to put New England on top. And Vinatieri, who ended last season with a bang, begins this one the same way. From 45 with 2:23 to go in the first half, the Super Bowl champions are back on top. New England 10, Pittsburgh 7. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsors of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. New Gillette Mach 3 Turbo for the closest shave with less irritation, even against the grain. And Bud Light for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Speaking of shaving, John, we were talking about this yesterday. Can you remember a head coach? I mean, last year, Marty Mornhinweg had kind of this mini goatee, but I mean, Cowher has a beard.
Yeah, a full-time beard, and I don't remember in the history of the NFL, I don't remember a head coach ever having a beard.
Me neither.
Someone brought up that Tom Bass for a while was the interim head coach. Someone brought up that maybe he had a beard, but Cowher didn't remember that. And we were talking about in the history of the NFL, you know, anyone, of course, I remember the day, I mean, when I first started coaching, and Vince Lombardi had a rule that no one on his team could have facial hair. And so there was no facial hair anywhere on the team, let alone coaching.
It's like baseball in the 19th century. From the 8-yard line, Lee Mays, rookie from Texas, El Paso, brings it back up to the 28. And let's check in with Melissa on the field.
Al, because they are both coming off such successful, tremendous years, both Bill Cowher and Bill Belichick emphasized to their teams that this season they have to work even harder. Cowher sent out this letter to all of his players, said we may be predicted to win the AFC, but there are no guarantees, there are no shortcuts. And Belichick had this T-shirt made for every one of his guys, showing them the standings, everyone tied at 0. His message, Al, last season is over. We're no better than anyone else.
And tonight they hope to go to 1-0 as they're up by 3 on opening night.
may not be any better than anyone else, but they're all wearing big rocks in their fingers.
Right. And they can't take those away as Antoine Randall L. does not make the catch. The ball hits the ground. Both coaches, when you look at Bill Cowher, still a young man, and yet he's the dean. Bill Cowher now in his 11th season. Bill Belichick, of course, coached the Cleveland Browns for 5 years in the early 90s, now in his second year here. And Belichick, at the age of 50, has been a coach, head or assistant in the NFL for 28 consecutive years.
You know, when you talk to offensive coordinators and quarterbacks, and you say, who's the toughest defense to play, they will always bring up Bill Belichick.
2nd and 10. And this is Burris, who spins out of a tackle, and that nets him a first down up at the 39-yard line as the clock ticks down to the 2-minute warning. Steelers on the move after Burris makes his first catch of the night. New England up by 3. Coming up, the Toyota halftime show. John and I are going to look back at some of the big plays yesterday. What a week 1. And then a Jim McKay essay, 9/11 remembered, coming up on the Toyota halftime show. The bearded one and his quarterback down by 3. First down, 2 minutes to play in the half from the 39-yard line. Pittsburgh with 2 timeouts available. And there on a corner blitz comes Ty Law to take him down to the 34.
Yeah, they didn't block Ty Law. I don't think they even saw Ty Law, but he was up in the line of scrimmage. He comes up to the right side of the defense, and you're going to see him, but the Steelers didn't see him. But Ty Law is going to be right here, and you saw like he was covering the slot. Cordell Stewart didn't even look out there. He expected him to be a cover guy. He became a blitz guy.
Now without a huddle, 2nd and 15. They swing it out to Amos Zeraway. And he is taken down by Tabucky Jones at the 34-yard line.
And Ty Law was there again. Ty Law came on that same blitz. Didn't get Cordell Stewart and just turned around and got in on the tackle. That's one thing about this defense. They're going to go after you. If they have you in position, see, they don't want the Steelers to get a first down or 2 here and get in field goal position, so they're pressuring them while they're down here to keep them down here. Now they got them in this 3rd and long, and this is a situation that this Bill Belichick, this Patriot defense, always wants you in.
And now you have the Steelers, in effect, running out the clock before 3rd and long to not give New England enough time to take a timeout.
If I were New England, I would take a timeout. Because you have to believe at 3rd and 15 that you can make a defensive play here.
Instead, it's Pittsburgh taking a timeout with 43 ticks left. (10-7) New England with 43 seconds and 3rd and long coming up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jeff Hardings, the Steelers center, is hurt, and his backup is Chucky Okobe doing the snapping right now as Hardings makes an early visit to the locker room prior to the half.
And we've seen this formation from both teams a heck of a lot this first half. This shotgun, the 5 wide receivers on the line of scrimmage, open formations.
It's the 42nd pass of the game, if indeed he throws it, but he can't. He gets taken down to the 29-yard line by Otis Smith.
Now the Patriots need a timeout.
They'd be well advised to stop the celebration and take a TO, which they do with 33 seconds. So they'll get it back on a punt, and they still have 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, that's three plays in a row that the Patriots brought a corner blitz. You're going to see we saw the 2 where it was Ty Law, and right here we're going to see the corner come on this blitz, and that time Cordell Stewart did see him. Cordell Stewart was looking, and that's what made him bring the ball down. Ben Kelly was out there like he was going to cover, and then he just comes on a blitz, and Stewart had been 3 times he'd been rushed from that left or his back or blind side.
You saw Brady going over what they'll do when Tom comes back on the field. Going over it with Charlie Weiss, Josh Miller. His second punt of the night now, his first 34-yarder. High floating kick, fair catch called for, made at the 25-yard line by Troy Brown. So the Patriots at least trying to work their way into field goal range for Vinatieri. And we can tell you that at 3:30 Eastern time Saturday, Ohio State and Washington State from Columbus. USC against Colorado and Boulder. Mississippi against Texas Tech. And then Nebraska meets Penn State in prime time. Some of you will see Texas against North Carolina Saturday night here on ABC.
Now I know from personal experience, Al, that the Patriots, although they have 3 timeouts here, but I know from personal experience that they can, from this position, go on down the field and get in position to try a field goal.
For a 48-yarder for certain with Adam Vinatieri, and they've thrown the ball 15 consecutive times. And here comes number 16 as Brady slings it to the outside. That's caught up at the 42 by Deion Branch, and he's out of bounds with 19 seconds. John, of course, referring to the Super Bowl last year when Brady led him down the field in the final minute to put Vinatieri in position to win it.
Yeah, I know this well. I mean, this was amazing. I mean, they were able to get the ball. They had no timeouts left. He was able to complete the passes, and then this is big here, getting the ball out of bounds to stop the clock.
2 of those incompletions were spikes. Big play by Redmond to get out of bounds. And now Brady at his own 41 with 19 seconds remaining. Brady. And it's incomplete. Try to get it to J.R. Redmond. You know, John, I have to think everybody makes it into a black and white situation. And of course, you know, Brady let him down the field. Vinatieri kicks the field goal. What a genius it would have been had he had one picked off.
No, but more power to him. I mean, I was just thinking, you know, of the odds with no timeouts and have to drive the length of the field. It's starting there. I mean, maybe 10 to 90% chance. And of course, then they did it. They hit a little check down. They got out of bounds. They did all those things. And what I would have done wasn't what they did, but what they did was right. They got a field goal, and they won the Super Bowl, and they're packing the Lombardi Trophy around.
And they had the hottest field goal kicker in the world at that point to bring it home. Now Brady has to pack it in, and he's taken down at the 39-yard line, and the Patriots will now just let the clock run out. So they can't advance it deep enough for Vinatieri, and that is the end of the first half on opening night at Gillette Stadium. With the score, the New England Patriots 10 and the Pittsburgh Steelers 7. Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, Cordell Stewart got off to a shaky start. 2 interceptions on the first 3 passes. What were they doing, and how'd you get it under control?
I don't think there's anything they were doing. We just was, you know, 2 bad balls, and our defense did a good job on the first one. We weathered the storm, Melissa. Right now, it's a 10-7 ball game. You know, right now, I think we've taken our best shot. We got to come out here and play this half. We got to make some plays. We can't get down at the 1-yard line, come away with no points.
Thanks. Out.
All right, thank you, Melissa. They did indeed weather the storm. We'll look back at some of the highlights from Week 1. Jim McKay will have an essay on the Toyota Halftime Show coming up when we return after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations.
The Toyota Halftime Show, brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. Here now, Al Michaels.
World champions on opening night, leading the Pittsburgh Steelers 10-7 last year in the AFC Championship game. New England won basically, John, on the basis of special teams. And again, special teams played such a prominent role in so many games yesterday.
Well, you know, I've always felt that special teams in the first week of the season is going to be something big. And if you're ever going to steal a game, in other words, win a game you're not supposed to, it's going to be on special teams the first week of the season, because teams don't practice with their teams that they're going to play in the preseason. And then they do it the first time, and boom, this is what happens.
Well, Buffalo's going to need a lot of practice this week defending against kickoff returns, because here was Chad Morton. He'd run one back in regulation on both returns. It looked as if he'd be caught each time, but no, in overtime to win the game.
Now, part of that was great running by Morton, and part of it was also poor tackling.
Then in overtime, this is Tom Tupa trying to get rid of it, but Fred McAfee had come in from the outside. He would have blocked the punt. Tupa just throws it away. Touchdown, Saints, and that's a big upset with John Gruden's opening game as the Tampa Bay head coach. So 2 big special teams plays, resulting in 2 wins yesterday for the Jets and for the New Orleans Saints. And then, of course, what took place in Cleveland, that was the craziest thing of all.
Yeah, you know, you shouldn't lose the game that way. I mean, what Dwayne Rudd did is he took his helmet off. He thought the game was over. Now, that's the rule that you can't do that, but the spirit of the rule is such that they don't want you to take your helmet off like you're showing off or taunting or doing those types of things. But this is a play that really shouldn't lose the game for you.
And it did. Green getting rid of the ball. Rudd thought the game was over, but Green was able to lateral the ball to John Tate. Tate was able to move downfield, puts him in range for the venerable one, Morton Anderson, to kick it through, and a victory for Dick Vermeil. What a win.
Yeah, I mean, crazy things happen. Crazy things, I think, happen more in the openers than they're going to happen the rest of the year. But I think that the officials have to watch out for that, because if you would think of all the big plays, how many times do you think on a big run or a big return that someone steps on the field? Now, if they start calling that, then they have to start, you know, on big plays, oh, you had 12 men in the field. You know, that it's a rule, and then it's the spirit of the rule, and I think they better watch out and not over-officiate.
I wonder if Rudd slept the wink last night.
No, he probably didn't. But, you know, someone said, if you were the coach, what would you do? I wouldn't do anything to Dwayne Rudd. I mean, that was an emotional thing. He was happy. He thought he won, and he was just celebrating.
They didn't do much sleeping in Houston last night either, because they were out celebrating all night. The Battle of Texas, for the first time since 1961, an expansion team wins its first game. Cowboys against the brand new Texans. #1 pick, David Carr, hitting Billy Miller for a touchdown. That was the first ever touchdown for them. Big crowd. And then, of course, Corey Bradford winning it right here.
You know, and that David Carr is something. Remember, we saw him in the game in Canton, and I met this kid and watched him, and I said, this guy is going to be something special. Now, we know that the Texans are probably the best expansion team that's ever been put together, and I think they're going to be pretty good. But the Cowboys aren't as good, maybe, as some people think they are.
I agree with you. But what a wild first week.
A great first week. I mean, that's what the NFL is all about. That's what pro football is all about.
Terrific. Good one here tonight. Opening night at Gillette Stadium. Jim McKay with an essay when we come back on the Toyota Halftime Show. 10-7 New England.
They're champions of the freaking world, man.
Back to life. Back to reality. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to the here and now, yeah.
Season premiere, 33rd year of Monday Night Football. Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark, brand new Gillette Stadium. The world champions leading Pittsburgh 10-7. And New England will get the ball as we start the third quarter.
And you wonder if New England will go like they finished and go that no huddle and pass on every down. I know Bill Belichick said the other day that they don't think you can line up in regular formation and run against this team.
They did not run the ball once in the second quarter. This is Deion Branch bringing it back out to the 26-yard line. Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, in the Patriots locker room at halftime, offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss told the players that this is going exactly how we planned. We are wearing them out. We want to run the ball and play action pass in the second half. Defensively, Bill Belichick told them, I want good technique, good concentration, and get your hands inside.
A report straight from the locker room.
Right, and what he meant by get your hands inside, that means take away the passing lanes, take away Cordell Stewart's passing lanes. You're on a guy, put a hand inside that'll take away a lane.
First down from the 26-yard line. They passed 16 times in the second quarter, and now Brady is going to start this period with a pass, but instead it's Kimo von Oelhoffen from Molokai, where they didn't even have a high school football team, didn't play till he was in college, who makes the tackle for the sack.
And I'm sure that that's one of the things that the Steelers talked about, is they said, look, this guy has too much time back here. You know, that we have to get a pass rush. Here he gets Matt Light, he gets him going back, and Brady didn't step up. I mean, part of that is Brady's fault. Part of that is the tackle, Matt Light's fault. Part of that is a good pass rush.
Second and 21. They backed off, and only a three-man rush out of the 3-4, and then Brady throws underneath to the tight end. Catch is made by Cleveland, who's tackled by James Farrier. And we'll take a look at the numbers through the first 30 minutes of play. New England, of course, not rushing the ball at all, so only 9 yards on the ground. Teams even in passing yardage. Steelers a slight advantage overall in the 2 turnovers early.
You know, I think that was the thing that the Patriots said that they were going to do. That Bill Belichick, the first thing he told me, he said we have to throw the ball. So we're not going to run against this team. Now the Steelers thought that they could or should run.
On 3rd and 13, grabbing the shirt of Patton was Deshae Townsend. He makes the catch anyway, and no flag, and a big 3rd down and long conversion.
You saw him grab the shirt. The officials didn't see him grab the shirt, but it was a completion anyway. Watch Townsend here. You see, he lets him get by, and then he gets that back shoulder. And there's where he grabs the shirt right there. And still caught that ball. That was a heck of a throw by Tom Brady, too.
Great throw to the outside. Patton hauls it in. 37-yard gain. Patton making his 3rd catch of the night. 1st and 10 out of the gun. Through the air again. Caught by Hayes. Slips the tackle, and Hayes scores his first touchdown as a New England Patriot. 40 yards.
You can't give a receiver that much room. Watch, here he is right here. Look how far the corner is off there. Donald Hayes runs like an out, and now the corner was like 5 yards up. Then he takes a bad angle. Then he misses the tackle, and Donald Hayes takes it into the end zone. Watch the block here by number 83, Deion Branch. I mean, he throws there's not a lot of Deion Branch, but everything there is of Deion Branch, he threw in that block.
Branch, the rookie, taking Lee Flowers, the hard-hitting safety, out of the play. Vinatieri for the conversion. And so after they had a 2nd and 21 and a 3rd and 13, they go 37 yards to Patton and then 40 for the touchdown to Hayes. Up by 10, the Pats. Aerial coverage being provided by Budweiser as you look into a $325 million facility. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, right next door to where the old stadium stood. It's now part of the parking lot.
Isn't this something the job that Tom Brady did last year, and then coming in and do it this year in the open, and they're putting pressure on him. You know, like I said, the best friend of a quarterback is a good running game, and the Patriots aren't even trying to run.
Vinatieri's kick. This is Lee Mays. Up past the 20. And Mays takes it out to the 30-yard line. Well, Gillette Stadium, they started building it 2 years ago, reserved for Tom Brady. And that figures to be a spot that's reserved for Tom Brady for a number of years.
Well, I think it's going to be. You know, one of those things, is he a one-year wonder, or is he going to be something that's for real? I feel that he's going to be for real, but like I said earlier, he has to keep taking those steps to get up there.
Hardings is back in, the Pro Bowl center. Bettis is in the game. It's Jeremy Tooman in motion. And Cordell Stewart flings one to the outside, intended for Burris. Incomplete. Let's take a look at some of the Steeler individuals and how they fared in the first half tonight. Stewart started, of course, with those 2 picks and then turned it around.
Right, and then you can see that Jerome Bettis has only run the ball 6 times for 26 yards, and we talk about the Patriots not being able to run the ball. The Patriots haven't tried to run the ball. The Steelers had a plan that they wanted to run the ball, then go play pass and do those kinds of things, and they haven't been able to get started in the running game.
Now they give it to Bettis, and he finds room, but he fumbles after he would have picked up the first down, and nothing but blue shirts are there. New England has it back at the 50.
Isn't that amazing about the Patriots? They just know how to play the game. I mean, you get a hole and you gash them, and then Victor Green comes up and strips them. I mean, just, they get everything blocked, but they just know how. Okay, they got that play. Now we have to do something. Victor Green, number 27, is the guy that does it. He comes in and strips Bettis from behind. Watch him right there. That right hand just comes in there and strips the ball out of there. The reason that Victor Green is in there is they play with 3 safeties. They call it their big nickel. Victor Green, Lawyer Malloy, and Tabucky Jones. All 3 safeties in there. one of them playing a linebacker position.
So Green gets the forced fumble, gets the fumble recovery. Brady out of the gun at the 49-yard line.
They're just staying in this gun and just, spread them out, and that's the way they're going to make the Steelers play defense.
Antoine Smith taking the night off, basically. He carried 4 times early for 9 yards. 22 consecutive passes for the Patriots, and another one here, and that is caught by Hayes, the big receiver. They picked him up from Carolina, giving Brady another weapon, 6'4", 220-pounder.
Yeah, they picked up they picked up Terrence Mathis, and there's Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator who's calling these plays. Charlie had gastric bypass in the offseason and darn near died. And then he lost the feeling in his legs, and you can see that at practice the other day he was in a wheelchair, in a motorized wheelchair. I didn't think he'd be on the sideline in this game, but there he is with a cane, and he's recovering. He said he's getting better, but he still doesn't have all the feeling in his legs.
He was upstairs during the preseason. Now they go to the ground for the first time with a flag thrown since the first quarter, with Mark Edwards, the fullback, carrying. Minimal gain. Tony Correni is the referee, and he'll give us the call.
Bill Parcells one time said about Charlie Weiss that he said that any position he coaches, and he's been a guy that's coached, offense, defense, tight ends, backs, everything. He said every position that he coaches, his players will make fewer mistakes than anyone in the team.
Number 77, 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
That's Mike Compton. John, we were talking about Bill Parcells. His son-in-law, Scott Pioli, who used to be known as Bill's son-in-law, is the vice president of player personnel, and he and Belichick, I mean, they were the architects of what took place last year. Great free agent pickups, the essence of the word team, and the result of Super Bowl championship, and there is Scott.
And then Bill Belichick knowing how to use those players, and that's what he does, I think, better than anything else.
2nd and 16, and it's Troy Brown. Tackle behind the line of scrimmage. I mentioned Scott and the Bill Parcells relationship. He's married to Bill's daughter, Dallas. I think one of the brilliant things that Scott did, along with Belichick, remember in 2000, they kept 4 quarterbacks. They had Bledsoe, they had John Freese, they had the up-and-coming Michael Bishop, and they had Brady. If they had put Brady on the waiver wire, he probably would have been claimed and would never, of course, have done what he did last year.
I remember Tom Brady saying when he was there's a number of games he was the 4th quarterback. I think 2 years ago that he didn't even suit up for half the games. I mean, he wasn't even the emergency quarterback.
3rd down and 17. And that is caught, but was he inbounds? Yes, says the head linesman, as Troy Brown pulls it in. And the head linesman, Aaron Pointer, right there.
They said he had it all the way. Again, Tom Brady has plenty of time. I mean, that's a big thing. He has the protection. I don't know that there were both feet in bounds on Troy Brown.
Neither does Bill Cowher. Cowher, we mentioned, we kidded about the buzzer before, has thrown the flag all the way out to the hash marks. There it is. He had a buzzer that he felt didn't work during preseason, so he threw it away.
And has been ruled incomplete as a receiver never got both feet down on the ground in bounds. Incomplete pass.
All right, so the headman, Aaron Pointer, was overruled, and now Cowher says, of course I don't want to challenge.
No, he wants that back. And Bill Cowher doesn't throw that red flag out there. He launches it.
Yes, he does.
You can see there's the catch. That wasn't even close to being in.
Yeah, no, they're going to not charge him with a challenge here, because he was challenging what he felt was the call by Aaron Pointer, who said he'd caught it.
Aaron Pointer, you know who his sisters are, don't you?
Oh, sure.
Aaron Pointer, the brother of the Pointer sisters.
Well, this is interesting here. I mean, he's I'll tell you what, maybe you'll see a Belichick challenge at this point.
Yeah, because when you slow it down, he is going to challenge it.
Yes. So Aaron Pointer may have been right.
Did you see that left toe down?
Absolutely.
Because you could see the grass come up.
Yeah. Well,
okay, he has the ball, the right, and that left toe touches before he goes out of bounds.
From this, he's like dotting the I, the Ohio State band here.
Right. The right foot was in, and the left toe dots the I. Look at the left toe drag right there.
Has possession right there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's going to be. That's going to be. Did he dot the I before or after he had possession?
Belichick, in his career here in New England in 2 years, has challenged 7 calls and has been successful once. So Cowher was going to challenge, then he took it back, and then it's Belichick who's now challenging.
Okay, he has the ball, and then the right foot is going to go down, and the left foot tapped. I think that's a completion.
Yeah, well, here's the angle that Correnti's going to see.
Again, the feet are no problem. What this is all about is, does he have possession before the feet? Because he does get the right and the left foot down, and the only thing that he has to do is does he have possession before that left toe tap?
Well, that freeze frame would indicate he does. I mean, his hands are grasping the ball.
Because you see the ball up there, and then you saw both feet on the ground.
It's supposed to be a minute and a half, but we all know how this works.
I think isn't it a minute and a half after he sticks his head in the hood?
Theoretically.
They're not going in the hood anymore. I mean, I always thought that was a stupid look when they put that thing over their head, and now at least they stand back a little.
But they're right over there.
But again, it has to be those two things. It has to be the ball and possession and both feet. That's what we're talking about here.
This was a 3rd and 17 play that will net them 20 yards and a first down if they get the call. Otherwise, they're going to punt. Here's Correnti.
After reviewing the play, the New England receiver possessed the ball, had one foot down on the ground, drug the other foot inbounds. Therefore, the pass is complete. The ball will be placed at the 36.5-yard line. First down. New England will not be charged with a timeout.
So he did dot the I when he had possession.
Just like the Buckeye band will on college football this Saturday. And Aaron Pointer was right. He was behind the play. The head linesman making the call, and he was overruled by another official, and then it turns out to be the correct call. So on 3rd and 17, a first down. And now Antoine Smith is in the game, and they look conventional for the first time since the first quarter. Everything else has been out of the gun.
Charlie Weiss is probably saying, let's get things under control here.
Yeah. And here is Antoine Smith taking it inside the 35, picking up about 5. That's the first rush since 2:43 remained in the first quarter.
Yeah, we were talking about Jason Gilden, and one of the Steelers that has played well, number 92 there. He plays the pass. He's a pass rusher, and he's very good against the run. I mean, as a strong linebacker or left side linebacker, that guy gets in on more plays than any outside linebacker that I know of.
One of his mates, Kendrell Bell, the great rookie last year, has been in and out of the game tonight, limping in and limping out. He's out right now. 2nd down and 6, and here is Antoine Smith bowling his way to the 30-yard line, where he's tackled by the ex-Jet James Farrior.
And again, Jason Gilden was in on that play. I mean, he takes on the tight end and holds him and waits for the ball to come to you. That's the toughest thing for a strong side linebacker. When I was a linebacker coach, I used to teach that guy, that as a middle linebacker, inside linebacker, you move quickly because things are coming right at you now. As an outside linebacker, you have to maintain control and let the ball come to you.
3rd down and 3. And here is a 3rd consecutive rush after 25 consecutive pass plays, and that's a first down.
Well, these linemen of the Patriots have done such an excellent job pass protecting, because Tom Brady, when he got in that shotgun and open backfield, he had all kinds of time. So now this is what the offensive line wants to do, though. If you take any offensive lineman ever in the history of the game, they always enjoy the running game. This is what they want to do. They want to run block. They want to get their running back up in there, get downfield, take off, do those kinds of things. Big Kenyatta Jones, you see him pulling out here, number 74. He kind of gave a whiff on that one, but at least he got a running play.
From the 25, they're going to run it again to Brown on a reverse, and Brady is out in front to try to block, but Brown can't get out of the backfield. There's a flag down. Chad Scott and Kimo von Oelhoffen in on the tackle.
Well, you kind of like what they were doing better when they were in a shotgun and no huddle, and they got the rhythm, but maybe they figure with a 10-point lead, they want to take some time off the clock now.
Holding is the call against New England. Brady last year, you look at what they did in the draft. He was a 6th round pick, the 199th guy picked overall. Antoine Smith had been released by Buffalo, picked up by the Patriots. Troy Brown, well, when you're an 8th round pick, you know you've been around for a while because there are only 7 rounds in the draft since 1994. So he was picked 8th in 1993 and had a career year.
You know, and I watched a lot of film on Troy Brown and the Patriots, and I'll tell you, when you need a wide receiver to do the tough things, Troy Brown was the guy that had to do it.
Ran back that punt as well in the championship game last year. Great postseason. That holding call was on the tight end Christian Foria, making it a 1st and 20 now at the 35. England, Fourier up by 10, and the pass is caught at the 29-yard line by Fourier, who earlier scored a touchdown. And for Christian tonight, they've been going to the tight ends, have the Patriots. Cleveland has caught 5, and he has a touchdown tonight, does Fourier, in his 2nd grab.
You know, I hate to say what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, that Tom Brady and his calmness reminds me of Joe Montana. I'm not saying Tom Brady is Joe Montana, but I'm saying the way he gets back there and makes everything look so effortlessly and easy, he reminds me of Joe Montana.
2nd down and 13 from the 28-yard line with his poise. And that is caught over the middle. That's Cam Cleveland. No, you're right. What happens is you mention somebody that's like somebody else, and everybody says, what are they talking about? I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say, okay, the guy in his 2nd year, this guy's making Joe Montana, who's a Hall of Famer and one of the all-time great. But we talked about Tom Brady being from Sarah High School, so that's right in the 49ers area, and he was a big fan of Joe Montana, Steve Young, and the 49ers. And just the way, I mean, he's not struggling. I mean, he's not, bouncing around there and his feet going. I mean, he's just back there and calm and reading and getting rid of the ball, and that part of him reminds me of Joe Montana.
Very poised. 3rd down and 7. Look over the middle, then to the right, and Montana will be proud of that because Deion Branch goes in for a touchdown. And that's exactly what you were talking about. Looks over the middle, fires a bullet right on the mark to his receiver for 7.
Yeah, and he's just so calm doing it. I mean, there's no jittery. He's not jumping around there. He's not shaking. He's not nervous. He just stands back there and hits it. Well, that's Deion Branch here. Because he can run, you're always worrying about him going deep. One thing, the Steelers secondary has not covered well, but another, they haven't tackled well either. After they made the catch, these guys have made some very big runs.
Brady is now 25 of 34, 252 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Vinatieri tacks on the extra point. So the New England Patriots, with 7:03 left in the 3rd, lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-7 in Foxborough.
Are you ready for some football?
Next Monday night to the nation's capital, we go the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off yesterday's loss to Tennessee against the Washington Redskins. Steve Spurrier's team getting off to a good start yesterday with a win over Arizona. Great NFC East battle next Monday night. Philadelphia at Washington. Here the Pats up by 17. Kick fielded at the 7-yard line. This is Lee Mays bringing it back out to the 27 with 6:58 to go in the 3rd. Long road ahead now for those guys. Down by 17. That show at our upfront preview in May, John. That's a good one. I like that show. 8 simple rules for dating your teenage daughter. I think there are more than that.
Yeah.
This is Hines Ward in at quarterback, and Randall L. takes the handoff and takes it up to the 36-yard line. So Bill Cowher down by 17, going to the back of the playbook.
Well, what he's trying to do is get some momentum. I mean, that's what I think that the Patriots did such a great job of getting momentum when they went to no huddle and they started throwing on every down. And then here's the play right here. You see Hines Ward. He's in like a shotgun, and he starts to run to the right, and he hands to Randall L. coming back the other way.
2nd and 1 now from the 35-yard line. So Ward, who was a quarterback of Georgia, and now it's Bettis taken down, and the bus on 2nd and 1 runs into a roadblock. Willie McGinnis is there. For Jerome Bettis, it's been a very difficult week. He was accused of sexual misconduct by a Greensburg, Pennsylvania woman earlier in the week. The captain of the Greensburg Police Department said today the investigation is not complete. No charges have been filed. They'll contact the DA and ask for a recommendation on what to do next. But Jerome, very frustrated by it. Of course, it has to wear on him. And he said, you know, I wish I could talk about it right now. I've been told I can't.
Yeah, and that's what he told us last night, that, you know, he can't talk about it, and he has a heavy heart about it.
3rd down and 6. And time called, time called. Play stop.
You know, there's a good pass rusher. I mean, that play doesn't count, but Mike Vrabel.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
I was really impressed with him in the Super Bowl and the film and the tapes that I watched. He came over to the Patriots from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he was a college defensive lineman. They made him a linebacker, but when they get in passing situations, he puts his hand down and becomes a pass rusher. And I think he's a very good pass rusher.
Steelers had him for 4 years, and he never started a game for them.
He's over on that side right now.
3rd down and 11. They picked him up. He's taken out of the play that time, but the pass is incomplete. Burris is going to seek a flag, and there is a flag.
Ooh, that's a late one. You know who's done a heck of a job is Otis Smith. You know, the Plexico Burris has only caught 1 pass for 11 yards, and Otis Smith has been matched up against him the whole night, and he has really done. I mean, the Patriots on offense have done a lot of good things, but they've also done a lot of good things on defense. Well, they're going to call that holding on both guys.
Holding, offense, number 66. Holding, defense, number 45. These penalties will offset. Replay, 3rd down.
That's Alan Faneca on the line and Otis Smith in the secondary.
Here's Otis Smith early. You see, there's a press coverage that they were talking about earlier. This is what Plexico Burris had trouble with that in the championship game. I look at that as pretty good coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was pretty good coverage. Faneca is the left guard, and he's holding right there. That was the hold they called on the Steelers, but I think what Otis Smith did to me was okay.
3rd down and 11. Stewart over the middle. That's tipped. That's picked off. Another interception. And that's Buckley's 2nd. So here's a guy released by Tampa Bay on the street for a couple of days. Re-signs with the Patriots, and on Monday Night Football, picks off 2.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Patriots try and do. Is they get ahead of you, or they get you in long yardage situations, then they get as much speed on defense on the field as they can.
Tipped by Bucky Jones. Crowd singing, "We are a champion." They are. And they also lead by 17 tonight with 4:58 remaining in the 3rd. And after the interception by Buckley, one of 3 picks of Stewart tonight, the Patriots going for the kill shot. Brady incomplete. Scott was back there, intended for Pat. Now on that last drive, of course, the big play, John, the challenge.
Yeah, that was it was a 3rd and 17, and we talked about, you know, dotting the I, and then they called it a complete pass and an incomplete pass, and then Bill Belichick challenged it. And now you know, they talk about Bill Belichick as a gym rat coach, and you just kind of watch the way he dresses and stuff. Now, where would you think that he would keep the flag when he's not going to throw it? That's right. Where any head coach who's a gym rat would get, you keep the red flag in your sock. Where else?
Unbelievable. 2nd and 10 from the 49. Here's Antoine Smith chugging his way for 5. You know, John, these guys are all going to have to warm up before the game. I mean, nobody wants to use the buzzer anymore. Now it's going to become like a distance contest.
Well, you know, Bill Cowher does that. I mean, Bill Cowher comes out and he warms up his arm because he tries to throw it all the way into the referee, because, you know, when they would push that button and it didn't work, then they get so frustrated, you start pushing a button, and you push the button right off your pants, and you rip your pants, and you pull the, I mean, all things, kind of get you discombobulated. So you just throw the red flag, and then as Bill Belichick, you just stick it in your sock when you're done.
Cowher threw his about 20 yards, Belichick about 12. 3rd down and 5 from the 44-yard line. Brady to the outside, and that's incomplete. Looking for the flag, and here it comes. Deion Branch, the intended receiver, and Deshae Townsend will be the man who gets the penalty.
I got a feeling that they're working on Deshae Townsend a little.
Defense, number 26, automatic first down.
I can see why. After you get beat a couple times and you get a couple of penalties and you're down, you kind of lose your technique. Watch Townsend, the way that he's playing here. I mean, he just goes in, he takes away the inside, and he just grabs him. I mean, when you can't get your feet in the right position, or you're worried about that, the next thing you do is you start to use your hands, and then you use them illegally. And it's usually because you don't have your feet or your body in the right position.
1st and 10 now, New England at the 37-yard line.
Someone just yelled something at Townsend, I think, that he didn't like. Did you see that look?
Fans close enough that the players can hear him. Play clock was balky for a minute. That's the reason for the delay. Now it's back operating, and they hand the ball off to Mark Edwards. To the 35, it's checking with Melissa.
After the Patriots scored that last touchdown, Bill Cowher gathered his entire defense and said, you guys were pathetic on that last drive. What I need you to do is challenge yourselves. He repeated himself. He said, challenge yourselves, but even that may not be enough.
At this point, it's going to be very tough to overcome this, and there's Cowher lecturing Townsend.
Yeah, Townsend's had a tough night. I mean, he's had penalties. He's gotten beaten. He's lost his techniques, and things started to unravel on him.
Now Smith on 2nd and 7 turns the corner. Breaking tackles, and it's Gilden who finally knocks him down inside the 10. Adrian Clem through the block to spring him.
Adrian Clem is a left guard, and he plays part-time. Joe Andruzzi starts in that position, and I'll tell you, they really like Adrian Clem. Watch him, he's a left guard right there. You see, he's going to pull and get that block right there. And that's the one that freed Antoine Smith. And then when he gets his shoulder squared and is turned up in the outside like that, he's going to get some serious yards. I kind of like what the Patriots do. The old thing used to establish the run in order to pass, and the Patriots went to a plan where they established the pass to run.
And now they're running again, and it's Smith, and he gets taken down. Nice tackle as James Farrier knifes through, no gain, 2nd and goal.
I think, as I said earlier, one of the things now that the Patriots with a lead at 24-7 in the 3rd quarter, they want to score touchdowns. I mean, you always want to score, but they also now want to slow this game down a little and take time off the clock. The Steelers are pressing. I mean, the Steelers, and Bill Cowher may be saying the defense has to do this. His defense hasn't put any pressure on Tom Brady, or enough pressure, and they haven't tackled well.
2nd and goal. Brady hit as he throws, intended for Edwards, and what a shot he took on a safety blitz by Lee Flowers.
Yeah, Lee Flowers came free. He was up in the line of scrimmage, and again, they didn't account for him, and he comes from that left side of Brady, or backside. You're going to see him. He's right here. See, and that's the backside of Tom Brady. Tom Brady is looking to the right, then he looks to the middle, and then when he comes back to his left, there's Lee Flowers.
3rd down and goal. Crowd rising as one. Brady stepping up to the end zone and knocked away. Intended for Patton, and Washington was able to knock it away, got a hand on it.
Yeah, and that was an incomplete pass, but I said, we talked about Tom Brady and what he's doing, but his protection has really been pretty good tonight. I mean, watch, because, there's no threat of the run, but just watch the pocket that's formed there. Now he holds the ball a little too long. I mean, the ball has to be out of there by then, but originally, that was a beautiful pocket for Tom Brady.
Now a 28-yard field goal attempt by Adam Vinatieri. to the hole. Right down US1. So Cowher continues to do his lecturing, and his team is down by 20. Well, those of you on the East Coast saw Drew carry in the 8 o'clock hour before the game, and you'll see our man Drew after the game on the West Coast. He is in mourning, John, as one of the great Cleveland Browns fans of all time after yesterday.
Well, he probably agrees with me on that Dwayne Rudd thing. I thought that was something that, again, I mean, he did take his helmet off. He thought the game was over, and you shouldn't lose a game as a result of that.
Kansas City goes home. That had to be a pretty happy flight back to Missouri. And my God, Adam Vinatieri is human.
Yeah, and that's always a big penalty because the Steelers get the ball in the 40 now.
ABC's Monday Night Football being brought to you by Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. Universal Pictures, before the silence of the Lambs, there was Red Dragon. And Nissan, and your Nissan dealer. Beantown, hot night. It was 86 degrees at game time tonight. Here we are 30 miles south in Foxborough, and Stewart trying to lead them from behind. It's another tip and another interception. This time it's to Bucky Jones, but no, they're saying no. It hit the ground. No pick.
Again, this is what the Patriots do so well is they use all their players. That's why players like to come here, because they know that, you know, as a fifth defensive back, you're going to play it. Nope, that ball hit the ground. As a sixth, as a seventh defensive back, as an extra linebacker, Bill Belichick, Romeo Crennel, this defense, they play all their guys. Now, some are undersized, but they all have speed.
2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line. Give him a different defensive scheme that time, and the catch is made by Hines Ward. That's the sign of a guy leading by 20 points. You can pat the guy on the head for a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, they brought Ty Law again on that play on that backside.
And now Stewart going without a huddle, down by 20 with 16 and a half minutes in the game. Trying to pick up the pace.
Their defense here.
Stewart throwing, incomplete. Throwing it out.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel darn near had him. You know, we talked about him being a good pass rusher. Watch, he's looking in at the ball, and he gets a good jump. He gets a good jump in the pass rush. Almost has Stewart there. Go down, but don't stay down. And he gets up there, and he almost ended up with the ball, Mike Vrabel did.
Josh Miller to kick it away. Each punter tonight, a left footer. And the touchback. Well, we talked about 1971. It was then known as Schaefer Stadium, and the stadium opened up with the Patriots hosting the Oakland Raiders. And September 19th, what do you remember about this game, John?
That we stunk the joint out. Because, you know, what happened was one of those things, we were never ready early. You know, I mean, I think I worked them too hard in practice. We'd go to training camp for 2 months, and we played 6 preseason games in those days, and then we started on the road, and then we're playing against a rookie, Jim Plunkett. We got it made. You know what I mean? We got it made. I mean, then we come here and we lay a bomb.
That's right, Plunkett's first game.
Yeah, it was Jim Plunkett's first game, and we just weren't ready to play. Not because we hadn't worked hard enough, but in those days it was because we worked too hard.
Here's Patton. And a short flip to the outside. And Dwayne Washington takes him down. There's a flag on the play. Patton indicating it's going to be against Pittsburgh.
I'm really impressed again that, you know, that Bill Belichick is such a good coach that you don't go and beat your head against something. You know, that the first thing he says is that we can't come in here and we can't run against this team. He said we have to throw the ball. And he stayed up with that.
John, it's a salute. It's a welcome to Monday night.
I don't know if that's what it is.
Have you ever done a game at 20 of midnight?
No, I've coached in the games at 20 at midnight, but I've never done one.
Gillette Stadium, opening up the 33rd season of Monday Night Football. From the 46-yard line, 1st and 10. Brady using all of the play clock. Smith to the 50. Well, John, the last time you were up this late for a football game, you were doing pretty well, because there it is, coaching on Monday night, minimum 10 games. You know, before you joined us, we used to have a minimum of 15 games. then you come over, we made it a minimum of 10 games. So you get on the sheet, and so does Mariucci.
Well, that was, you know, we always enjoyed it. I always enjoyed Monday night. I enjoyed coaching it. You know, I enjoyed watching it when I was, you know, at other networks, and now I really enjoy being part of this. This is great.
Great to be with you too. At the end of the 3rd quarter now, the New England Patriots 15 minutes away from a win, leading 27-7, and Monday Night Football resumes after this from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television. Midnight Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific, Sports Center on ESPN with all of the day's highlights, including reports from here in Foxborough, where we begin the 4th quarter, 2nd and 5 from New England. Antoine Smith spinning around, taken down by Gilding. You know, when you look at Bill Belichick tonight, we've talked about it, starts on the ground, then goes to the air, and then comes back to the turf.
Well, you know, even in that 1st quarter, they only ran the ball 4 times past 11. And they said, the heck, let's really call an abandoning the run in the 2nd quarter. 16 straight passes, and then at halftime they adjusted, but they come out throwing again in the 3rd quarter. Then they've got a little better balance there. But I think that Bill Belichick and Charlie Weiss both said balance baloney.
3rd down and 6. Brady surveys, comes the other way, and that's incomplete, and falling down was Deion Branch.
One of the things that really impressed me about the Patriots was, you know, being at practice and talking to their players, was how this whole team concept is something that's real. I mean, it's not something that they just did in the Super Bowl where they weren't introduced and ran out as a group. They did that tonight too, but they really believe that individuals, we're not great individuals, but as a team, we're a great team.
Ken Walter, his punt, fair catch called for, and that's Randall L doing what you shouldn't do, and that's making a fair catch inside the 10-yard line at the 7.
There's no foul on the play. 1st down.
So 50 ticks into the 4th quarter. Opening night in Foxborough with the world champions leading 27-7. Our season premiere of Monday Night Football. New stadium and a 20-point lead for the home team. What could be better for the folks here in Foxborough right now? Steelers backed up from their own 8-yard line. Zeraway. He of the 2 consonants and 5 vowels. Mike Vrabel makes the tackle. Since 1990, when the playoff format was expanded, teams that have won the season opener have gotten to the playoffs more than half the time, and only 1 out of 4 times has a team lost on opening day and then saw action after the regular season. 2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Stewart over the middle, caught by Mark Bruner. A little short of the first down.
You know, one of the things the Steelers didn't want to do, Al, is make this a revenge game. And I think that was smart because, you know, like Wayne Gandy said, it's not like a fight where you lose a championship, you lose your belt, and then if you go and you beat the guy again, then you get your belt back. I mean, they lost to the Patriots. The Patriots won the Super Bowl. If they win tonight, they don't win a championship. So they started out, I think, with a revenge mode, the Steelers did, and then they discarded that and said, that one's not going to work.
Now they're going to have to regroup, and they go home to meet Oakland on Sunday night. 3rd down and 1. Stewart dragged it down at the 6-yard line. Richard Seymour gets the sack.
That was a defensive lineman that the Steelers were worried about. They said if we have to get one guy blocked in here, it's Richard Seymour. And you're going to see, I mean, he's big and he's strong, and you see him right here. I mean, he has that speed, that strength, and that power to be an inside rusher. See, he made a move with his hands, then he dipped his left shoulder and got that inside, and then he was right on Stewart.
Now Miller's punt out of the end zone is a bad one. He hooks it.
Well, when it rains, it pours, huh?
It does. You know, John, it's like last year, and it was raining and pouring in Jacksonville when Pittsburgh was beaten by the Jaguars 21-3. So they started the season miserably last year. Then, of course, they won 13 of their next 15. They can only hope history repeats. That was a 24-yard boot. That's a week from tomorrow. The debut right here on ABC. 1st and 10 now for New England at the 31-yard line. 12 and a half to go. Smith. You know, all week long, people here have been talking about the Patriots getting no respect. As you look at the numbers for the two quarterbacks tonight, Brady's rating 111, Cordell's 46. And it's a thing in sports these days. We don't get any respect. Why don't we get respect? Nobody picks us. The interesting thing was Pittsburgh was actually a 3-point favorite in this game. The last time a Super Bowl champion opened at home as an underdog was '83. After Washington had beaten Miami in the Super Bowl, they opened with Dallas in Washington as a 3-point underdog. And this one is caught by Deion Branch, and he's out of bounds. 1st down near the 10.
You know, and there's the calmness of Brady again. I mean, he had some action going down there on his left. He looked after, and that got a little fouled up. So he comes back and throws that deep one to the right. But again, a lot of this is Tom Brady. But look at the time he had. Look, he's looking left, he's looking right, he's coming back, and then that's way too much time for a defense to give a quarterback like Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, with that type of time, is going to eat you up.
1st and 10 from the 11. You know, John, as a flag comes in talking about Brady, and we can't anoint him, I mean, after that 1 year, but you're right, he has the look.
Yeah, and he has the feel. I remember, you know, the other day when I was over there, I came away with the feeling that I don't know if they're going to win. I don't know if they're going to defend
Offense,
this.
Number 70, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
Adrian Clem.
But I do know that they're awfully confident. And this guy, and I said this earlier, is one of the most confident guys. I mean, not only when you talk to him and when you watch him play and in practice, I mean, he really has control of everything now. And he has that wristband and the plays on his wristband. He said last year, they used to come into a game with 40 pass plays. He said they came into this game with 60 pass plays.
1st and 20 from just outside the 20. They can get a 1st down and a touchdown. Swing it out here to Troy Brown, but that is totally sniffed out by Jason Gilden.
I mean, there's one guy that has played well for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense tonight, and that's Jason Gilden. I think that the Steelers defense really hasn't played well tonight. They haven't covered well, and they haven't tackled well. But Jason Gilden is not one of those guys that hasn't covered or tackled well.
2nd down now and 23.
2nd and 23, but they got 2 downs, and they're still in pretty good field goal position.
And the clock running down as they're up by 20. Brady rolling the this time. A tight little roll, throws, coming back, making the catch is Deion Branch. So they get inside the 10. It'll be 3rd and goal.
You know, and I think that they're rolling just enough. You know, they have Tom Brady back there in that shotgun. Most of the time he stays in the pocket, but I think they have these organized rolls just enough that you can't play it and say that he won't roll. And they bring him out here and they throw from outside the pocket, you know, right or left. I think just enough so that if you have a scouting report and you get it in a computer, you can't say they don't do it.
Brady tonight, 29 of 42. He's now thrown for 294 yards. 6 more, and he's over 300. And they'll try to do it here on a little fade, but running the wrong route was Hayes. One of the guys who you can throw the fade to is a 6'4" receiver, but he was going in, the ball was going out.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, Brady was trying to throw it to that second pylon, and Hayes thought that he had to make some kind of move. And usually you throw that thing that either your guy gets it or no one gets it, because you have the field goal and you want to keep that. Then you take your shot, but you don't let that shot be intercepted.
27 yards field goal attempt now for Adam Vinatieri. And that one is just inside the left upright, but he is 3 for 3. This game was once tied 7-all, with the Patriots now with 23 unanswered points. September 17. Big night in Foxborough. Brand new stadium opening up. Patriots are up by 23, leading defense of their Super Bowl championship. This is Hank Poteet. And he gets gang tackled after he crosses the 20-yard line. You know, John, if you're Bill Cowher now, do you go back and think, okay, this is an aberration. It's like last year I have a better team than this. Or do you think I've got problems that I didn't know existed?
No, I think what I'd do is I'd look at my division and I'm saying I'm really lucky to be in a bad division
Yes.
because I have a good enough team and I'm still the best team in the division because no one else in my division won a game yesterday. So I'm losing here, but I'm still in first place.
There he is in 10 years after losing a season opener, and that was the case last year. He and Shula on 5 occasions have gone on to reach the playoffs.
Yeah, the Steelers are a good team. I mean, they're going to be there, and I think that they have to look that this is just one of 16. Not a good one of 16, a bad one of 16.
Bruner, you know, you make a great point. I was looking at their schedule. They play 16 games. Only 5 of them are against playoff teams from last year. Tonight, next week against Oakland. Then they have 2 against a Baltimore team that's clearly on the downside. And the only other game would be Tampa Bay, which is a Monday night game at the end of the year.
Yeah, so they're in good position just schedule-wise and division-wise to be in the playoffs.
2nd down and 8 from the 25-yard line. And this is Zeraway, and that goes nowhere. Tackled by McGinnis. Next week, the Steelers go home. Their home opener is Oakland, the ESPN Sunday night game. They get an early bye. Bill Cowher doesn't like it, but that's what he gets. Then the Browns, then at the Saints, and then at the Bengals.
Yeah, that at the Saints isn't going to be any walk in the park, though.
No, not after yesterday. Bruner to the 31-yard line, tackled by Mike Vrabel.
Vrabel's been all over the place tonight, and so is Ty Law and Lawyer Malloy. You know, they were talking, you know, about this whole team thing, and they said they was really impressed on him. Bill Belichick brought in Bill Russell, the old Celtics center, and talked to the players about how sometimes you have to give up individual stuff for the team to be a champion, and he explained how he did it when he played for the Celtics and all that. And Lawyer Malloy was saying, you know, he said, I sat there and as I listened to that, it really hit home that that's really what it's all about.
Bill Russell's kind of like the motivator du jour. We saw him in Green Bay.
Yeah, and then Mike Sherman had him in there to talk to the Packers, and I think you know, when a team wins a Super Bowl like the Patriots did, everything that they did is copied the next year. I mean, their offense is copied, the defense, the motivation they use, everything they use is going to be copied because they've proved that what they did is the right way to do it.
And the other advantage I think that New England has that some other teams didn't, for instance, Baltimore, is going into this season with no salary cap problems. I mean, they did it basically on a shoestring last year. This is Hines Ward, who's tackled by Ty Law. Mike Vrabel was blitzing on the play, and popped Cordell.
And he zeroed right in on Cordell Stewart and put his face mask right between the 1 and the 0.
At the 43 now, 1st and 10. And Cordell will take off. He gets to the 50. Let's check in with Melissa.
Well, Al, just to add to what John was saying, Lawyer Malloy told us that he was really impressed when Bill Russell compared what he did to what Wilt Chamberlain did. He said Chamberlain had more individual records than anyone could ever dream of, but he did not win 11 championships.
He was comparing himself to Chamberlain on on an athletic level. We know that. This is Zeraway to the 42-yard line.
And getting rebounds, playing defense.
Right. So Bill Russell, the motivated, you know, if you have salary cap problems, you bring in Bill Russell, the former Dodger shortstop, to talk to your team. 1st and 10 to the 43-yard line.
But Bill Russell was that type of player. I mean, even before the Celtics, he was that type of player at USF.
Stewart goes down, gets sacked, the ball is loose, and the Patriots are there. Jarvis Green, backup tackle, number 97, forced the fumble.
They've been doing that. That's the way Cordell Stewart started out. He started out rattled. He's going to end up rattled. He had something there in the middle, but these Patriots came in ready tonight, and they've just taken it to the Steelers the whole game.
Steelers have now turned the ball over 5 times tonight and been penalized 9 times.
Well, Jarvis Green is right here, and he's going to take an inside move. See there, he hits, then he gets that inside shoulder, runs inside the guard, I mean inside the tackle, and right over the guard. There's one guy that Bill Cowher would like to replace, and that's his right guard, Oliver Ross.
From the 44-yard line, it's a fumble by Smith, and now Flowers comes up to the ball, and the Steelers get it right back at the 47-yard line. So the Steelers still breathing, but barely. They have it back on the other side of the 50 after Antoine Smith gives it up. There's 6:20 remaining in the 4th. 30-7, New England. Earlier tonight, Drew Carey kicked off his season on the East Coast. And for those of you on the West Coast, stay tuned for the season premiere of the new Drew and Whose Line Is It Anyway? Coming up at 10 Pacific. Well, the look of a team that will fly home after the game down by 23. Short week and preparing for the Raiders when they get home. From the 47-yard line, blitz is picked up, pass is caught by Antoine Randall L, and he has a first down at the 28-yard line. 20-yard pickup.
I think this year with the with Randall L in there and Hines Ward and guys that have played quarterback, and I think they're going to do a lot of those kinds of things. I think that they didn't have a chance tonight. I mean, they got behind and they really couldn't do some of the trickery that I think will be a big part of the Steeler offense.
From the 27-yard line, 0-0. We were talking about the Steelers and what they have to think right now, John. I think a lot of people around the country will see this as some sort of a validation for the New England Patriots. I mean, some of the skeptics and some of the doubters will say, well, wait a second, you beat Pittsburgh this badly?
And that's the thing. I mean, the Patriots and all their players, they were talking about the no respect. They had a thing from ESPN.com up where no one picked them to win. No one picked them to even win their division or win the conference. And
well, Willie McGinnis says, take that. Ball is loose, and it is picked up, and rumbling down the sidelines is Roman Pfeiffer with all of his countrymen. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have just given up the ball for a 6th time.
Bill Cowher saying, I want to get the heck out of here. Watch here, Willie McGinnis doesn't go for that fake. He puts his hand up. Willie McGinnis just unloads on him. Look at that. And then McGinnis goes and makes a block. We're going to have some kind of challenge.
We certainly will. They're going to say he was down.
Look at Cowher. He's out in the field. Oh, they just threw the flag on Cowher.
Yeah, because Bill is all the way out, almost to the hash mark at the 20-yard line.
There was stuff flying all over his head. His headset flew off. His flag was thrown out there. He threw it again. Then they threw a yellow flag at him.
So Cowher is going to get an unsportsmanlike call against him regardless. But they're going to have to review this play because Cowher did throw the flag.
And what he's saying is that wasn't a fumble.
Bill may be saying, you know, I threw the flag. I was just going out to pick the flag up.
To throw it again.
Yeah, right. Now is Stewart down?
Yeah, I think he is, because it can be any part of him. I think it doesn't have to be a foot or a knee.
Right.
See, here's a red flag that we're dealing with, and it ended up right by the referee's foot. I think that was the second time he threw it, though.
Well, you want to throw it, what, one knee equals 2 feet, and any, you know.
Well, any extremity or any part of the body, that was one butt.
Right, one bun.
Equals 2 feet. I think so. So it's any part of the body other than the hand that is down.
So they'll challenge. They may get the ball back, but they're also going to get a penalty assessed.
That's a heck of a hit by Willie McGinnis, though.
This would have been, still could be, I guess, if they rule in his favor, the first touchdown of Roman Pfeiffer's career.
I think we look too close. I mean, to me, they ought to be fumbles. I mean, fumbles fumble. You know, like the old day, if a guy had the ball and he got hit and the ball went out, that was a fumble, and you jump on it and everyone would yell fumble, jump on it, and all those things. And now there's a fumble and we have to see if anything is down to make an excuse for the fumble we just called. I'd like to go back. I mean, if the ball falls out, a fumble's a fumble, play it like a fumble. And then coaches start coaching and work on don't fumble.
Technology caused all of this.
Well, now, yeah, but it used to be a thing that, you know, you would really teach and coach not to fumble. Now, instead of getting on a player who fumbles, you find out, was he down? Was this part down? Was that body part down? Was anything down? And we make excuses all the time for fumbles.
So as the clock ticks down,
Willie McGinnis did play that well. I mean, whatever this ruling is. I mean, he came off, and Cordell Stewart, watch him try and fake him with his hand there. McGinnis didn't go for it at all. And he just makes a perfect tackle, and the ball comes out, and it's a fumble. But, you know, they're going to rule again, was any part of him down before that ball did come out. Can't keep things simple in the rule. You know, like get back to Dwayne Rudd again and that thing, and you know, if we start doing everything, you know, was an extra player on the field, you know, I mean, all those things, and it has to kind of be the spirit. I mean, sure. I think Mike Holmgren said that about the tuck rule. He says, if the coaches know it's a fumble and the players know it's a fumble and the guy sitting at home knows it's a fumble, it's a fumble.
But the rule remained the same. They had a chance to change it.
Yeah, they'll change it next year.
They just wanted to, yeah, you're right. Because
after reviewing the play, the runner with the ball was down by contact. Therefore, Pittsburgh will retain possession of the ball. Third down. Pittsburgh will not be charged with a timeout.
And Willie McGinnis say what happened?
Pittsburgh, 15-yard penalty will be enforced. Remains third down.
Right, so they got it right, and then, you know, Cowher would like them to pick that flag back up, but no, you can't.
I think what happened is they threw the red flag out there, and then he had to go out and throw it again.
Well, here, of course, is the fabled play, which will live forever in infamy in one part of the country and in glory here in the East. Woodson decking Brady. It's interesting because last year on a Monday night game we had the same play, the same ruling in a Kurt Warner situation against Tampa Bay, and I agree with you, John. If the league had changed it, it would make it seem as if it was a bad rule. So they keep the rule in the book this year. The theory being you don't want to put the onus on the official to determine intent, but it'll probably come out next year.
Or to take away from what the Patriots accomplished, because after that, I mean, the Raiders could have stopped them. They didn't stop them. I mean, Vinatieri made a couple of great kicks, and they made drives, and then they went and they beat Pittsburgh, and then they played in the Super Bowl, and they were great. And what this guy did and his team did was a Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. They are champions. And they're great champions and deserve to be champions.
Look at this total delay here, almost 5 minutes. You know, I would suggest, John, that there was no greater field goal maybe in the history of the game than Vinatieri's 45-yard. When you consider everything, every circumstance, a blizzard, the game is on the line, 45 yards. I mean, unbelievable.
I mean, that's as tough a situation as you can get. And look at Lonnie Paxton there. That's his long snapper. Something fell out of a bottle on his head, but he was a guy that after, remember, he did the Snow Angel.
Sure.
Yeah, that was a great thing. Old Lonnie Paxton out of Sacramento State.
He was having so much fun. He said, I was just expressing my joy. That's the way I knew how to do it. Vinatieri, this came after the ruling. They kept the ball moving down the field, the 45-yarder. Then the chip shot came in overtime. And then, of course, the 48-yarder in the Super Bowl.
I don't think when there's weather like that, there's any such thing as a chip shot.
No, well, yeah, you're right.
I mean, that whole snap has to be good. The hold has to be good. The footing, you know, your off foot, your kicking foot, that whole thing that they get into with kickers.
Surreal game. And after this delay, Pittsburgh calls a timeout. John will give his take on Steve Spurrier. We'll see him on Monday night next week. A review of Week 1 in the NFL at ESPN.com. All Madden is the keyword. And NFL.com, Bill Parcells will give his opinion on what makes a team's preseason a success.
You know, one thing, the way they play preseason now, they really don't get ready for the regular season. Although I think this is, I mean, the guy's looking pretty good shape here. You would expect, you know, when they get into the fourth quarter, that I just watched games yesterday, and there were guys getting cramps and down all over the place.
Yeah. Exacerbated by the heat all over the country. That's a tipped ball and incomplete out of the hand of Cordell Stewart. Take a look at our star track, and it's Bill Belichick shutting him down again. Cordell with 3 picks. Bettis just 8 carries for 35, and Ward's caught 6, but for 11 yards a completion.
You know, and defensively, he's as good a defensive guy as there is when you have to take something away. He thought he had to take Cordell Stewart scrambling away, and Jerome Bettis is running away.
Brown, flag. Pittsburgh has been penalized 10 times for 82 yards tonight. New England 6 times for 78. Those are preseason figures in that department. And here's another call.
So maybe they really didn't get ready in preseason.
No.
Is that because of, you know, of the penalties and all those things?
During the return of the kick, holding, receiving team number 24. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Ty Law, unlawful. Well, here's our horse trader. We told you about this in preseason. John, we're going to pick our first player of the game.
Well, you know, the great thing about the horse trailer, it started out here in Boston. This horse trailer first took, you know, when Paul Revere came in and when he was done, his horse got in this horse trailer. And we've been packing it around ever since. And I was always wondering where Paul Revere's horse's horse trailer was. And it's right here at ABC, and that's where you did your voiceover.
Right.
My first night here, and I thought, geez, this is pretty good. These guys got good stuff.
Horse wound up in a claiming race at Suffolk Downs, and that was the end of his career. But our first horse trailer, I guess we can anoint him right now. We have 4:42 to go, but yeah. Tom Brady is the man.
That was easy, and you know, I mean, it just, if you had to take a guy and say the way he played and what he is and what he represents and what he's done, that's not a bad start for your horse trailer, packing a guy around. And now we'll pack him around the whole country. I mean,
sure.
we'll take him everywhere with us. And
If you're on I-95 this week, you're going to see him because the horse trailer is going to go from here to Washington. Now Antoine Smith, as they'll chew up as much of the clock. 4.5 to go. So Charlie Weiss, who's moved down onto the field, 25 consecutive pass plays. It's the longest streak since Parcells was here in '94, when in one game they threw 34 in a row. With Drew Bledsoe, of course.
And you know, he just showed the confidence that he had in Tom Brady, because that's a tough thing when you play against the Steelers and you know that they're going to blitz a lot, and you open up your formation, you have 5 receivers, just leave your quarterback back there. That's having a lot of confidence in number 12.
2nd down, 7. Smith picking up a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 5 with under 4 minutes to play. Speaking of Bledsoe, of course, now a Buffalo Bill. Decent performance yesterday, very good, but in the losing cause.
Yeah, he played very well. That was a good game between Buffalo and the Jets.
Hugh Millen started in '92, then Bledsoe, 1st round pick, of course, came in '93, and now it's Tom Brady's team.
You know, isn't that true though? Of the last 3 Super Bowls, that the winning quarterback didn't even start the season?
That is correct, because it didn't start in training camp, because Trent Green got hurt for St. Louis in a preseason game, and that's when Warner took over.
Right, when they went to camp. I mean, all 3 of those Super Bowl quarterbacks, the last 3 Super Bowl quarterback winners, weren't the starting. Oh, we got a graphic on it.
Well, Dilfer took over for Tony Banks. Warner, of course, came out of nowhere when Trent Green went down, and then Brady last year came in after Bledsoe got hurt in game 2.
So what that says, if you want to pick a team that's going to win the Super Bowl and history is going to repeat itself, pick some team that has a quarterback that's not playing now.
That streak will come to an end sooner than later, though. It has to.
I'll tell you, this team is you know, I think you have to start somewhere, and I know, as you say, it's too early to anoint a player or a team, but I've always believed that you say, who's going to win? I think you take the team that won it last year, because at the end, when we were all done playing last year, this team was a champion. To me, you start, they're still the champion.
Walker's kick, hauled in 44-yard line by Antoine Randall L. There is a flag with under 3 minutes remaining in the 4th.
You know, a guy that earns his salary, I'm not sure how much he gets paid or what his weekly check is Mike Vrabel. You know, he plays linebacker on regular downs. He's a pass rusher on passing downs, and then he's on the punt coverage in the 4th quarter when they're winning 30-7, and he was the first guy down to make the tackle.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 89. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's Lee Mays. Well, John, will head down to the nation's capital next week. Steve Spurrier had a victory yesterday. We're going to see Donovan McNabb. And, you know, you never want to make too much of an early season game, but the Eagles heavily favored to win the NFC East. A lot of people think they'll go to the Super Bowl. If Washington wins next week, all of a sudden Washington leads Philadelphia by 2 games.
Right, and then if the Rams beat the Giants, they're going to lead the Giants by 2 games.
Right, and Dallas, the other team in the division, plays Tennessee.
They could lead everyone by 2 games if they can beat the Eagles.
1st and 10. Here's Hines Ward up to the 43-yard line.
And I think that Steve Spurrier is really refreshing for this league. I mean, I think that what he's doing, and you know, just go in there and just throw the ball around, and you know, I mean, this is what the Patriots did tonight. I mean, the Patriots looks like a Steve Spurrier offense.
2nd and 1. That gets the 1st down. Did you ever call yourself an old ball coach?
An old ball? Oh yeah. I mean, that's what old coaches are. You know, I mean, when you win, you get to be a genius. But if you look at it, you're a guy that was a PE major in college. Your best class was recess, and then you become a coach, and then when you win some games, then you become a genius. When you go from recess, being good in recess, to being a genius.
And then if you don't win the next year, you're a bum again, right?
Oh, yeah. Then you go back on the pile as a bum. Then you're in the pile and everyone piles on you.
2-minute warning. 1:52 left till the celebration can begin in Foxborough, if it hasn't already. Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Cold it down easy. The Flame Broiled Whopper from Burger King. At VK, you got it. And Cadillac, bold vehicles defying convention. Boston, 30 miles to the north. Back to Foxborough we come. What an opening night, an official opening night for Gillette Stadium.
Now there's a guy, if I said to you, there's one guy that's been in this league for 7 decades, Bucko Kilroy.
There he is, and he actually played. He played for the Phil Pitt Steagles.
Yeah, he played for the Steagles. He played, that was in 1943 when, a lot of guys were at war and they combined the Steelers and the Eagles. They called them the Steagles. Now, Bucko Kilroy has a distinction. If you look in the history of the NFL and you ask anyone who was the dirtiest player that ever played in the NFL, Bucko Kilroy will get to most.
He's the guy?
Yeah. Bucko Kilroy. He's been everything. I mean, he was the vice president of this club. He was a general manager of the Patriots. He's been a scout. He's been a coach. He's been a player. But I don't think, other than any owner, that anyone's ever been in the league as long as Bucko Kilroy.
No, I can't think of anybody. From the 43-yard line, incomplete. I'm trying to think. George Hallis would have come close.
Well, George Hallis owned the team,
right?
And then you take, Wellington Mara,
right?
Would have been in it. Dan Rooney, because his father Art, and
right.
Family and ownership. Take those guys out because Bucko wasn't any family or any ownership. I mean, Bucko was just an old player.
Holding, offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
But I think he was in the league for 62 years. And so, if you said, now I've seen everything, you can't say you've seen everything until you talk to Bucko about what you see.
He's like what Don Zimmer is in baseball now. I mean, Zim's coming up to that point.
Yeah, but he got another decade or so on Zim, I think.
Oh, sure. 1st and 20 now at the 49-yard line. Cordell tonight is 21 of 33 for 190. Steelers started tonight by making a couple of mistakes at the outset. They had 2 passes picked off, and there are the sorry numbers. And Bill Cowher went off the field and told Melissa at the half, we weathered the storm, and they did. But it's one of those low pressure systems that wrap back and come back, and the storm came back in the second half. Dan Rooney, the president, wonderful man. Family has owned the Steelers since the inception, and a guy who came through an emergency landing in his single-engine Beechcraft about a month and a half ago.
Both these owners, or the owners of both of these teams, have gone through something this, in the last month. As you said, Dan Rooney was flying his own airplane and couldn't get the landing gear down, and it didn't have any contact with the tower. Had to use a cell phone, go through 911, and then they had to relay to the tower, and he finally got it down. I saw him at the Hall of Fame. I said, "Did you fly again?" He said, "Heck yes, I flew here."
Offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Well, a couple of days later, he actually rented a plane to go back to training camp.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't believe that. I mean, once you dodge something like that, you go right back. But that's Dan Rooney. I mean, he's a confident, calm guy. I mean, how could you? I mean, you always wonder what you would do, but how could you think I'll use my cell phone to call and have someone call the tower to tell me what to do? And it all worked. And we're all very happy that it all worked.
He was unfazed by it. Stewart swinging it back to Hines Ward. 8 catches tonight for Hines Ward. Well, realignment this year, and we'll take a look after week 1. All 4 teams in the AFC West won. South and East winning 3. in the AFC. NFC North and South splitting. And down at the bottom of the AFC North, that is the Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh division. 0-4.
That's why I was saying Pittsburgh can lose this game tonight, will lose this game tonight, and still be tied for first place in their division. And I think Bill Cowher, I mean, that's the thing that he's going to feel good about. Look at the stuff they have down there on the sideline. Scissors, trainer thing, ring cutter, forceps, nail clippers, reflex hammer. You always need a reflex hammer.
I have no idea what any of that stuff is.
Well, you see that one, the last time I flew was in the 1970s.
Yep.
And I flew that one there.
What was that?
Thermometer Airways. Right here, this one here.
And that
last flight I had.
It was the end of your career, right?
It was the end of Thermometer Airways, too. I did fly on an airline that is no longer with us. My last flight.
That must have been a fun flight back from New England in 1971. You lose a game and then you have a 5.5-hour flight home.
Yeah, and then, you know, we always had slow starts, and so we knew we were a good team. And the Patriots at that time weren't a good team, and it was just one of those days, and kind of like the Steelers are having here tonight, although the Patriots are a heck of a lot better now than they were then.
Fourth down play for Stewart. And the ball is one-handed, hauled in by Randall L., and he takes it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, before this is over, Randall L. is going to be an exciting player. I think, you know, not only, as I said earlier, on running pass patterns, running reverses, probably some quarterback stuff later on, being a kick returner. He's getting mauled there. He still has that burst right at the end to get separation, because it was right. He had the tight coverage right there, and then that little boom, that little burst right at the end that caused the separation.
And they take a timeout.
I think the only thing that Bill Cowher is going to be happy about again is the division that he's in and the results of the division he's in, because he's not going to be happy with his defense. He's not going to be happy with his pass rush, and he's not going to be happy with his tackling. I mean, his defense, the Steelers. I mean, the Patriots made a lot of big plays tonight, but the Steelers did not tackle well. And if you look at the Steelers and Bill Cowher teams and the Steeler teams, I mean, even before Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll, they were always good tacklers.
And what's surprising is they were first in the league in rushing defense last year, first in the league in total defense, fourth in the league in pass defense.
And I think that the Patriots, especially in that second quarter, when they went to the spread and the no huddle and the passing every down, I think that really threw their defense out of sync.
First and goal now from the 7-yard line. Incomplete.
Usually when a quarterback keeps the ball that long, it's going to be incomplete, because everyone runs out of real estate. I mean, you can only run that back line so long, and you only have so far you can go up the field. And you can hold it a little, you can move a little and make a completion in the end zone, but after a while, you guys are just going to run out of room. That's exactly what happens here.
They're still watching intently in Push, Nevada. Gratuitous promo.
See what happens when you run out of real estate there? I mean, there's just no place to go. You're trying to stay in the boundaries of the football field, but you can't do it.
Second and goal. Little toss, little trickery. This is Zeraway, but only gets to the 2-yard line.
I think that was a play Bill Cowher was telling you about before the game.
He told me, I'm thinking it's not a bad play to run, and you've got the guys who can do it, but why in the world would you want to waste it at a time like this? Third down and goal. Fake spike by Stewart. Trying to get into the end zone. Does he get there? He does not. He is stopped shy of the goal line. Ty Law runs him out.
I don't know why they care so much about this touchdown. I mean, I don't know why they just. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what this is all about. I mean, there's 4 seconds left to go, and why take a timeout? Why even try and get in? I mean, at some point you just say, "Oh, I think he's in there anyway." But at some point, you just say, you know, call in the dogs and put out the fire. The hunt's over.
Well, this is a play that could be reviewed upstairs.
Yeah, see, the pylon is out of bounds. But they put a new rule in this year that you can touch the pylon if your foot is inbound. I think they're going to show that his foot was inbound.
And did the ball cross the goal line though? Before the ball was out of bounds.
Yeah, but I don't know what difference it makes. I mean, if you're going to lose, you lose.
I know some people who it makes a big difference too, but that's another story.
Yeah, but I mean, 30 to 14 or 30 to 7. What's the difference?
Where is the ball?
Well, the ball can break the plane of the goal line outside the boundary. So it's does the ball break the plane of the goal line, because the goal line goes all the way out. Supposedly the goal line goes around the world.
It does.
So it's not was the ball out of bounds, but if it broke that plane of the goal line, even though the ball is out of bounds, it's still a touchdown. So you can swing the ball around.
If they're going to review it upstairs, and they're not, well, it doesn't matter, because now it's 4th down, and this figures to be the last play of the game, barring a defensive foul. And Cordell Stewart, does he get in? He does get in. It's a touchdown. He went up and over.
Look at Teddy Bruschi. He's fired up. They don't have a shutout, but they wanted that 7 points. Look at him. We got to calm old Teddy Bruschi down. The guy said, we've been playing like heck out here all night. We've been stopping these guys. We're not going to let them do it now. Teddy Bruschi's right here, and he's gonna see that thing. And as Cordell Stewart jumps, Bruschi's going to jump. And what he's saying is he was square, and I knocked him perpendicular. Watch him. He's square. Now he is perpendicular. And again, I don't know that the ball does break the plane.
Extra point is good by Peterson to make the score 30 to 14. And there's still 1 second left, so we have to have a kickoff.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ask the question, who cares? Because we're seeing a picture of a guy that does care. He killed Cordell Stewart's eyes here. He knows that he has to break that plane, but as he's jumping, Bruschi's timing his jump, and he's jumping. And they're having a collision. They're right at the goal line.
Well, they decide to run off the second, and that's a good choice right here, because this one has been, as the late Chick Hearn would say, in the refrigerator for about the last 45 minutes. Patriots win on opening night and win big over the Steelers. New England wins it 30 to 14 is the final, and let's check in with Melissa.
All right, Al, well, when we talked to Tom Brady yesterday, or actually on Saturday, he said, we are going to kick their butts. Tom, how'd you know that?
Yeah, well, I think we had a good game plan. I think we were all confident. And, you know what? It's real tough for me is we had a good week of practice. So good to come out in our own stadium and play that way. It's a good way to open this thing up, a good way to defend our title.
This Steelers defense was ranked #1 in the NFL last season. How were you able to exploit them so well?
Well, you're right. They do have a great defense. And, it was just, Charlie Weiss came up with a great plan. And I think, we come out here in the first game, we run a lot of the no-huddle stuff. It's tough on the defense, conditioning-wise. And, we kind of got on their heels. And guys, Donald Hayes made an awesome play on the curl route when he kind of hooked and ran, and Deion Branch and Christian. I mean, the 3 guys we didn't have last year came up big. So it was a great win.
Well, right, 25 consecutive pass plays. Was that part of the game plan?
Was that right? 25 in a row?
Yeah, surprise you.
I wish we did it more often. We won 30 to 7. It's pretty cool.
Congratulations. Thanks, Tom. Well, Al, when you look at the Patriots record over the month of September, the last 2 years, 1-7. Bill Belichick emphasized getting off to a fast start. So far, so good.
So far, so good, and they go to the Meadowlands next week to face the New York Jets. So the final score again tonight was the New England Patriots 30 and the Pittsburgh Steelers 14. And next week, our gang moves down to Washington. Steve Spurrier and his Redskins hosting the Eagles and Donovan McNabb. And now stay tuned for your late local news For those of you on the West Coast, it's the Drew Carey Show, followed by Whose Line Is It Anyway? Al Michaels, John Madden, Melissa Stark saying goodnight from Foxborough, Massachusetts. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. The keyword, Monday Night Football. Talk to you next Monday.
Are going to win a lot of games, and you know, I'm real proud of the way our team played. They played tough, and you know, made some plays there in the third quarter, got some turnovers on defense, and put some points up on the board in the third quarter. And you know, I just think this is a real good team victory. We had good field position in the kicking game, scored on offense, turned the ball over on defense. Every got contributions from a lot of different people, and you know, I think we got to just understand that we're headed to New York in 4 days, and you know, we're playing our first division game on the road next week, and you know, it's going to be tough every week. But you know, I thought those guys did a good job out there today. The players really played well, and they're the ones that deserve all the credit.
Coach, you threw the ball 25 straight times at one point. Was that your game plan, and what were you trying to accomplish by doing that?
No, we wanted to establish the run. Yeah, we had some success spreading them out a little bit. I thought that you know, offensively we could get a little bit better distribution on the defense, see them spread out, and you know, would open up some of our reads for us and all. But you know, Tom did a real nice job of throwing the ball. The line did a good job of protection. Our receivers ran good routes, caught the ball, made some good runs after the catch, and it really just came down to good execution. You know, they did a good job, and you know, they deserve all the credit.
Was there something, though, defensively that you saw from them in return in this game?
Well, look, Pittsburgh's tough. You know, I mean, we were lucky to get 10 points on them in the first half. They're tough. You know, you look at their defense, and it's hard to run, it's hard to throw, it's hard to convert third downs. You know, it's just hard to move the ball against them. So, you know, you take whatever morsels you can get, and you know, we were able to spread them out a little bit in the second quarter and get a little movement there with the ball. But you know, the first quarter was tough. We couldn't do anything, and then you know, we got a couple breaks in the third quarter, and you know, we're able to punch it in. But you know, we're just trying to find a way to, you know, make a few plays. Tom hit that big go pattern to Patton on third down. I thought that was a big field position play, and you know, maybe that helped back him off a little bit.
Did they do anything different when Bell was out of the game?
I think, you know, they pretty much run their same package. When he was out in the last two preseason games, and Fiala and Ferry were in there, and you know, they run their regular defense, and you know, they're pretty good at it. I mean, he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but you know, they're pretty good. You know, whoever they got out there, I mean, it's a good unit.
So these guys came in. If you go back to a year ago, preparing for the Pittsburgh game, we talked about how they just during the playoffs, how they rush the passer, and if they get the lead, they're going to be tough. But then you come out and throw the ball. It would seem like a risky plan. Why wasn't it a risky? Why did you do it? Why did it work?
It worked because the players executed it well. You know, we got the ball off quick. Tom did a good job of getting it out of there. Again, the receivers ran good routes. They got open, and Tom had somewhere to throw the ball, and you know, and they caught it. And then they made some good runs after the catch. A couple of those plays were, you know, short passes that turned into long plays, and we had a couple of real good catches out there. And obviously Troy, and you know, we got some production out of our tight end, and you know, we were able to spread the field a little bit. And sometimes the tight ends we're getting single coverage, or we're getting pretty light coverage inside. So I don't know how many balls they caught, but you know, we fed it in there to them a few times. You know, Cam's a big target, and was able to come up with a few of those catches.
You threw a ton last year against San Diego, but could you have run that game plan against Pittsburgh last year with the talent you have in that situation?
Well, you know, we tried to throw it last year in the championship game. We just, you know, we weren't as effective as we were today. So, you know, again, I think the major credit just has to go to the players on the execution, the quarterback, the receivers, the tight ends, and the protectors, because we, for the most part, we had pretty good protection.
Could you talk about Terrell Buckley's contributions after being back in?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad for no coaching. By the time we get him coached up, we'd probably, you know, be giving up passes all over the place in a couple weeks. But no, you know, Terrell's an experienced guy. He's really an experienced guy. He knows our system, and you know, he's a smart player, and you know, he knows how to play. And you know, he did a nice job jumping in there with, you know, only a couple days of practice, but you know, the secondary really worked well together. Of course, Pittsburgh was in 3 and 4 wide receivers, a huge percentage of the game, and you know, they got taxed out there quite a bit. But you know, Terrell's, you know, he's got a lot of savvy. He's a smart player, and you know, he's got good hands. So if the quarterback puts the ball around him, he'll catch it. He's not like, you know, some guys that, you know, that just try to knock the air out of it. He's got real soft hands, and you know, he can make them pay.
Bill, you also had a lot of contributions from the newcomers tonight. You mentioned the tight ends, also Branch, you know, did some nice things out there.
He did.
Did it show how, you know, well they acclimated themselves to what you want to accomplish here?
Well, yeah, and I think that this is, you know, this is where it's got to happen is in the regular season. You know, if they can step up and make plays and contribute now, then that's, you know, that's really what counts. You know, not in the fourth quarter of a preseason game, but you know, Dion had a couple nice plays, caught the ball well. You know, Jarvis gave us a few snaps in there on defense, and you know, Graham gave us some plays. So, you know, that was you know, that was all positive. You know, I mean, we've got to keep building with them, and you know, they got to keep going. But you know, at least they got off to a decent start here tonight, and it was good to see them contribute a little bit.
I know you don't want to pump up Branch too much. I mean, he had the big block on Hayes.
You know, he did. Yeah, that's the biggest hit easily he's had this year. You know, he's. I mean, we get on him a little bit about not being as physical as we want him to be, but I tell you, I thought he did a good job when he peeled back on Flowers. That was an excellent play. You know, I thought those are two of the better plays of the game. Was you know, when Hayes caught it, and turned it up. Branch hustled, peeled back, and got Flowers and set up the touchdown. And then the play at the end of the game, even though it was ruled that Cordell was down, which was probably a good call, but I thought it still was a hell of a play by McGinnis when he knocked Cordell down, got up, and instead of going for the fumble, peeled back on Zeraway so that Pfeiffer could scoop it up and run it in. So, you know, those were two real heady plays, you know, right there, good split-second decisions. It looked to me like they really used good judgment on both those plays, and it helped us.
I didn't really get in the starting lineup for me to change that.
We don't really talk about starting lineups. Everybody plays, everybody contributes. It depends on what our package is and what we're trying to do. Sometimes some guys are in there, other times other guys are in there. It just depends on what the call is and you know, what we're trying to get done with a certain grouping. It's not about, you know, who starts and who's out there the first play. It's who contributes and who makes plays.
So you weren't able to establish a run, but you did a great job of defending the run, stopping their running game, and that obviously really helped defensively.
Yeah, you know, they split us a couple times in there inside on those whams and all, but, you know, I thought we did a pretty good job on the off tackle on the outside game. And, you know, we tackled fairly well, too. I mean, we had a few misses, but, you know, those backs they're good backs. They're elusive. They're hard to get down. And, you know, stopping the runs half the battle and then tackling the runners the other half of it against a team like Pittsburgh. And so, you know, again, the players really did a good job. They pursued. They got a lot of guys to the ball. They gang tackled, and that just gives the runners a little bit less space. You know, Cordell I think they ran 7 quarterback draws in the first half, so the quarterback was a big part of the running game as well. And you know, it's a tough package to defend. You know, we got us.